set a career high with 5 sacks. The Toronto Blue Jays' big win in Game 4 of the World Series get things even with the Dodgers last night in Game 5. Jays wasted little time. Davis Schneider led off the game with a home run. Up next, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Now Vlad Jr. hooks the ball down the left field line. They've got back-to-back to start Game 5. 3 pitches in, 2-0 Toronto.
Courtesy Fox Sports, Toronto wins it 6-1. The Blue Jays starting pitcher Trey Savage allowed 1 run, 3 hits, 7 innings, and set a World Series record for a rookie with 12 strikeouts. Toronto now leads 3-2. Blue Jays a chance for their first World Series title tomorrow night since 1993, as it's Game 6 at home at Rogers Center. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show tonight, followed by Thursday Night Football. All begins at 7 right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Cleveland with a 4.5-minute drought late in the fourth quarter when they needed their star players to step up, and they did not. As the Celtics put up 125, they scored 75 in the first half, and they win it by 20.
For some reason tonight, our energy level was super low, and that kind of in every phase, and their energy level was through the roof, and every 50-50 ball, like 2 guys jumping, they got it. Rebound 50-50, they got it. And then obviously the way they shot the ball, they shot way over their head, but when they're getting extra possessions, just makes it really hard. I thought in the second half we got some really good looks from Trey. 4 for 28, tough to come back. I thought we battled, got it to 9, like I said. And part of that was the offensive rebounding. We battled there, but we never slowed them down. Their rebounding down, never slowed them down, and that was a big difference.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
This is garbage, and the whole season's going to hell in a handbasket. Audio courtesy of ESPN. Good morning.
Good morning, Kenny.
I was not going to go that far, obviously.
That was no fun last night. Now, did you watch local or national?
I watched local.
Okay.
It was on mute.
I started out on local, and then I migrated because I wanted to see how the national was dealing with the blowout.
I'm gonna put myself in the mercy of the court here. I had no idea that it was even on nationally. I'm sorry.
Well, only because they had.
I'm sorry.
They had Inside the NBA.
Yes.
Yesterday, so I had to go switch over at halftime to see what they were saying.
I don't know where to go anymore. I go to look for Cavs games as I would building a football team inside out. So I'm going to go to their flagship number 1, and if they're not there, then I will go a-searching. And I found them right there. I got home because, well, honestly, they were on in the studio. I did the Browns show yesterday, and they were on. Meredith put them on in the studio. So I'm like doing the show and keeping an eye on them. Got home and just went right to it. I just figured it was on. I'm sorry, guys. I had zero clue it was on ESPN last night.
Well,
and
I think
I won't know it's on Peacock until I go, okay, it's not here or whatever. I'm going to go to Peacock now. Like, that's how it's going to work.
That's the difference between the companies, though. It's usually on locally when it's on ESPN. You usually get both of those, unless it's like the feature ESPN game with Breen.
Yeah, it was always sporadic when it would be blacked out and when it wouldn't be. So I was always confused about that, but... You had your Doris. I thought you had your phone set up for alerts anytime Doris Burke was doing a Cavs game.
The only thing they're going through so many changes, honestly. Like, I mean this. I love Doris. I have the clip of her saying hi to me on Zach Lowe's podcast. That's still saved because I'm a big Doris Burke fan. I've been a Doris Burke fan since I started watching basketball, and she was on it, to be honest with you. I had no idea. I figured, well, they took her. I just figured they took her off the broadcast altogether, and she was doing something else in the studio or something like that.
She definitely got demoted.
I don't know,
for the guy that we had on last week, Tim Legler. Who's
I got nothing against
awesome.
him. I got nothing against him. That's the thing. Like if they were like, well, we're getting rid of Doris Burke and putting on Kendrick Perkins, I'd go, what are you doing? But he knows what he's doing. I'll be honest with you. I like Mark Jackson in the past. There's a lot of guys I've liked. But I'm just going to, I don't know necessarily where to find it. God, I sound so old and I can't be helped. But I just go inside out. And I'm going to go to the flagship first. And if it's not there, then I'm going to go somewhere else. And that's sometimes to my detriment, and I'm not going to get into all that. But that's how it's going to go. And so there you go. And so I ended up watching it on there, and I ended up watching a low volume. And it was a bad night. It started off not great, then the night got worse.
No, I mean, it started out great. They were 10 of 12 from 3-point range.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I did have half an eye on it,
and
but
Donovan
I didn't think
Mitchell
it was good.
hit this insane buzzer beater to end the first quarter.
Well, when you got,
and then they scored 18 in the second quarter.
Well,
and then he, I think, only had one more basket the rest of the game.
This is the issue. When you have,
they didn't get a single rebound off a missed Boston three.
Against one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the NBA.
So let's the Cavs report brought to you by Surfside. This is the earliest we've ever done it. 6:07, right on the dot for those of you scoring at home. This Cavs report brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. It's time to go surfsiding with the Cavs. Do you want to get into the rebounding first, or do we want to get into well, I mean, it goes along with Evan, even though he had 11, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, this should have been a game that...
What do we want to do here with Evan?
Well, hold on. This should have been a game that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen feasted. This should have been a game that they absolutely imposed their will. Did you see the shell of what's left for the once proud Boston Celtics? The team they were going up against. I'm going to go through... the starters here. Josh, is it Minot?
Yes.
Minot?
No.
Minot? Minot.
I thought it was Minot.
Minot. Yeah.
That was Josh Minot.
Minot.
Okay.
Well, there's Josh Minot. There's Minot, North Dakota, right?
Yeah.
Correct. That only has one T, though.
Oh. Minot. Josh Minot.
And Minotti's, which I know,
Yes.
has two T's.
Love me, love Minot. Then there's Neemias Queta.
Pretty wild on social media over there when they start sending me their opinions on the Browns. I go, oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Are we in our cups a little bit, boys?
Save the good stuff for later.
Nice,
all right.
folks.
Neemias Queta, who I'm sure you had never heard of before this game. Utah State. We know the head coach of Utah State, Kenny.
Where's our gear?
We're still waiting for our gear.
Where's our gear? I know it's hard to find a 4X
Coach Calhoun.
tall. It's amazing. I wore a NDCL sweatshirt by accident last Friday. Nice people. I didn't know they were playing a rivalry game that night.
Put it on purpose.
But you got run for it.
Be naked.
But I got run for it. Now I'm getting a bunch of people wanting to send me sweatshirts over here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, hey, Utah State just waiting.
And you Euclideans
2
and
seasons.
St. Joe's alums, VA St. Joe, just get to Coach Calhoun to get us our gear. All right.
And all you others that have high school football programs, I'll do John Gruden unboxings right here live on the air. I do not care.
That's incredible.
You send it right here to the station.
We're stealing his idea now.
4X tall, and what do you got? A large?
Stealing any other ideas from him?
What do you got in there?
Give me like a 3.
3X. So you get 3X,
Like
4X tall, and what do you got
If you
again?
want to send me a medium and a large, and I'll send back the one that it varies.
There you go.
Mileage may vary.
Yeah, we'll make sure we'll
Give
take
it to
care
one
of
of my kids.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Derek White
Mine was a fluctuator.
Derek White, who we know, but instead of just being a role player, he's going to be a shot chucker, apparently. He took 20 shots. Yeah. It was not good. Jaylen Brown, he always feasts on us, regardless. We have no wings to guard him. And Peyton Pritchard, who is terrible. And somehow that team destroyed us. They had Sam Hauser off the bench. He went 7 of 13. Overall, they hit 21 threes. We had 17. It's amazing. If in the Mark Price era, if you had 38 threes between two teams, they'd say, oh, was that the best of 7 series? No, it's just one game where both teams actually went ice cold in the second half.
But we gotta have ourselves we gotta have an Evan Mobley conversation. What? Okay. So what? We played 5 basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
I saw my mentions last night. So guys, I don't know if he's going to get there. I'm just telling you, he desperately needs to get there. This is turning into the Mitch Trubisky thing. Ken, you really like Mitch? Yeah, I did. I never wanted us to draft him. There's a big, big difference. I only tell you, I don't know if Evan's going to get there. I only tell you that he has to get there for us to actually contend for an NBA title. The rest of this is just having fun during the regular season. We're still in summer fling mode here. This is, in the words of, is it Demi Lovato? We're cool for the summer.
Yep.
There we go. That's all, man. It ain't serious until he's serious. And I saw your tweet last night, and I go, damn it, he's right. They don't come out and guard him. Go ahead, take it. Go right on ahead.
Yeah, he's up to 6.4 threes a game, which is, I have to be honest, it's what a lot of us wanted to see was him ratchet up the threes. But part of it was we thought by year 5 it would look a lot more fluid, and then it would send defenses scrambling because they'd be running out at him, and then he'd be making plays. It would open up the rest of the floor for everybody else.
Also, if the only guy that can rebound the missed threes is the guy that's taking the
three, that's tough.
That's a problem.
You got to be very specific with your miss if you want that ball to come back to you. That's the hard part about it, Kenny, is he does not look fluid. They basically told him to start the year, hey, we're not really all that concerned about anything except you making a leap. So we're going to put the ball in your hands like you're Giannis. Or I guess Giannis isn't even a good example because Giannis just cut the threes out of his game completely. But
look at your phone when you get a chance.
It's going to be your ball is in your hands. Be aggressive and play like a unicorn and play like a 1A. Yeah. Remember, his trainer just hours before the season started said, oh, yeah, he has a chance to be the best player in the NBA. And then I look at him and I compare him to Wemby. Mm-hmm. Hell, even Chet Holmgren has been way better than Evan Mobley so far this year. Like, how is Evan going to look like he's looking now?
So this is the weird thing.
Paying off what his trainer is saying to be the best player in the whole league, one of one.
I don't hold him to that. It's so weird. I don't hold him to that standard I would Wemby. I mean, I heard about Wemby. I mean, it was like a big... Remember, you made a big thing that I wasn't doing the fans a service, not watching a guy in France that we were never going to draft, that we were never going to have. And you're like, Ken, you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. I go, I don't know when they're playing basketball in France. I've never watched basketball in France. So, Ken, these games are on in the States. I go, I understand that, but I don't know when they are, and I got other things I got to watch. And you went after me for it. Okay, well, that comes with a set of expectations for Victor Wembanyama. And then you also have Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren didn't get to play a lot. He got hurt. Chet Holmgren comes with a set of expectations. There was never that zeal for Evan. I mean, that all said, it sounds like I'm making a giant excuse for him. I'm really not. Because, guys, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. He's got to shoot threes. So he's got to try to keep chucking threes because eventually he's got to start to hit them so he can pull defenses out and space the floor and make everything easier for everybody else. So they're doing, I know you guys are pissed. They're doing exactly what you need them to do.
It was the plan.
This is what the plan is. And some nights, yeah, I know you're upset because you're playing a down Celtics team that came in there. They were 1-3.
Yeah.
You're playing a down Celtics team. They got injuries. You got Jaylen Brown limping around the place. I get that, man, but this is part of it. This is part of it. So I know you guys are mad. I guess I have to say, stay the course. Stay the course. I'd rather do this than having to see. I'd rather go down this way than Donovan Mitchell just taking over and beating the Pistons by 20.
So this is a very unique scenario. Normally, when guys are drafted on bad teams, and Evan has been on decent teams really since moment one, right? At least 500 teams. Yes. Like, he's been on decent teams. Normally, when a very good player gets drafted, gets drafted at the top, they go to a terrible team, and then the ball is in their hands from moment one, and you figure it out because your talent ends up superseding everything else. With Evan, he's been on these good teams, and he's been playing with Donovan freaking Mitchell, who was All-NBA first team last year and deserves some MVP consideration. And so Evan's never been the focal point, so he missed that opportunity for him just to have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Like, on bad teams, you look every night on bad teams, guys just get the ball, and it's like, take 25 shots, take threes from everywhere. But Evan's never had that, and yet they're trying to sell him as a unicorn that can be a top 5 player in the league, but he's never had that runway to just have the ball in his hands nonstop. And so he's not comfortable. So it's year 5, and he's kind of missed that development part of it to just be a good player on a bad team, so make all your mistakes. Instead, they're force-feeding him the ball now on a team that's a championship contender, and it's, hey, let's see it. Let's see the leap. And he's clearly uncomfortable with that role. It's affecting him in every way.
Well, I'm sorry, buddy, but this is what you got to do. I know you're uncomfortable. I'd rather you be uncomfortable in October. This is just what they have to do. I'm not budging from this. It's not fun. It's not fun to have everybody mad. It's not fun to have everybody call out Evan Mobley. This is the only way through. And we may find out at the end of the year. Guys, it's not like I'm not listening to reason and won't say like, oh, no, Evan Mobley's great. You guys just don't know. No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying he has to get there. I don't know if he's going to get there. In fact, I mean, it's been a few years. I think that the odds are probably against him at this moment of getting there. But I'm telling you, I'd rather just win 50 games and get in, or 50 or 51 games and get in as a 4 seed or even a 5 seed. I don't even care about home court advantage. And just, if he's better at what we need him to do, you'll be happy that we went through this for the postseason. But if he's not, we're just wasting our time. Everybody's wasting their time because this is just not a championship team when they were previously constructed, where everything just went, okay, we're going to go out and we're going to try a few things, and then Donovan's got to take over in the fourth quarter. Whether it be because guys are too young and don't take it seriously enough around him, Darius is what some people were said before, whether it be because of certain guys not willing to pay the physical toll like we've talked about before, whether it just be where your roster construction is not the same type of roster construction. I don't even mean to get nasty. If your roster construction isn't even the same as some of the other ones that are much better suited to win in the postseason. Well, you got to find that out this year. I mean, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of time. I mean, everything was fun and hunky-dory 2 years ago, and then even last year in the regular season. Those times are done, man. Those times are done. The regular season is a giant preseason to get you ready for the postseason. And so, yeah, I'll continue to come in here, and if he looks uncomfortable shooting threes, eventually I'll have to change my tune. But this is what you need to do. Stay the course. Stay the course. And deal with the loss. Wear it. Be a man. 216-474-0092. Do we have to change? Are you guys already wanting to change? Or have you already lost faith in Evan Mobley? 216-474-0092. And yeah, and when you can't give answers, you're going to get some wild speculation. It's amazing where we've gone in 1 week on where the head coach could be at the end of this year. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. By the way, the Cavs Report brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside, live here on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Van Scoy Hair. So they've told you about PR.
All deals for your new roof with Home Genius Exteriors. Get 50% off materials plus 0% APR and free attic insulation. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. See website for details.
When you want the latest on the Cavs, we're the station you turn to first. 92.3 The Fan is Cleveland's home for breaking sports news. Your teams, your station.
Want to make sure everybody knows about something. First off, I-90 East coming in from the west side, some standing water near West 25th, and it's a absolute mess. Had 3 coworkers, 2 of them sitting in the room talking about it on their right after they got in this morning. So please be careful.
Standing water is an understatement for what I saw.
There is a car that was stuck in the water.
Least Honda Accord high.
Yeah, my entire car got doused, and there was no visibility for about 4 seconds.
That's how the Johnny Cash song went. How high is the water, mama?
Honda Accord high.
And rising. So be careful out there. Make sure. So give yourself a little bit extra. Basically, it's a running thing. We should probably record these and play them in perpetuity until the 90 project is finished, which is what, 3 years?
7 years from now.
7 years.
Well, this is past where all that is. That's another fun thing that we could get into at some other time. The which line is the right line? Pick your line. Hope
God.
you stay in your
Yeah,
lane.
which lane you're in?
Oh, boy. So give yourself a little bit of extra time there today. Try to avoid it if you can. Weather's a little bit lousy coming in. Also, Cavs tickets we're giving away coming up at 9 a.m. Tomorrow night, they're playing Toronto, so we're giving away tickets for that game. Ducats, if you listen to Cleveland Sports Radio in the 1990s, Ducats we're giving away coming up at 9 a.m. Also, Joe Varden going to join us from The Athletic at 9. We're going to get into the Browns here in a second. The Evan Mobley stuff. Guys, this is what it looks like. This is what, if you guys want to have a better chance at playing in June, this is what it is. This is what you got to deal with. So I know we're going to get a lot of anti-Evan Mobley stuff coming up here in just a second because there's some callers champing at the bit. But damn, Sam, you're going to have to do this.
So, by the
you're
way,
going through growing pains, quote unquote, already again with a guy who's in his 5th year.
You said anti-Evan Mobley, who is reigning defensive player of the year. We gotta make sure
you're going to get some angry, not anti, but you're going to get some angry Evan Mobley.
We got to make sure this is in context. Was he third team All NBA? So I think he was hovering around that. Either way. He's been, I think the Ringer had him as a top 15 player, maybe all the way up to number 12. So Evan Mobley's really good, and we are blessed to have him. He is a big-time game changer.
It's a blessing.
He was a second-teamer last year.
He was second-team All-NBA.
And player of the year.
You never say that about Browns players. You never say, we're blessed to have Carson Swessinger.
Well, he's not playing this week, right? Or next week?
He's not playing next week?
Nobody's playing this week.
No one's playing this week. Go ahead. What are you saying about Evan?
No, Evan Mobley, depending on what list. All right, the Ringer has him 16th. He is an unbelievable player to have. He's so valuable to everything they do. I think what happens is we are constantly having the conversation about the Cavs are loaded. We have so much talent. We had plenty of talent on the floor last night to get a win against, beleaguered Boston. But, even if everything is all systems go with everybody, we know how different the playoffs are. That's when a guy like Evan is so much more important than even the regular season because he's offering rim protection. The scores are down. The possessions are down. You're allowed more physicality. And so that's where the Cavs defense should take this huge step forward and have this massive advantage. And against the Pacers last year, we didn't. Our defense was terrible. They were killing us off the dribble. And then the rim protection wasn't there because everybody was out of sorts. And then offensively, we were injured. I mean, that's a big part of it. Obviously, Darius and Evan, had the bumps and bruises, more so for Darius. But still, I thought they had enough talent to win that series. And the hard thing is, when you rely on the guards and the small guards, it's tough for them to get through the gauntlet of the playoffs with all the increased physicality. Defenders can now hold you and prod you and keep their hands all over you. And you're not just marching to the foul line like you are in the regular season, especially the first few weeks. And Donovan Mitchell has been absolutely spent after 2 rounds of the last few playoffs. He had nothing left. And what do you know? They lost those series. So what you need is other guys to elevate. Well, Evan Mobley is that guy.
So you agree with me overall. It's frustrating. Well, this is what you need to do. Even last night, even when you lose. I mean, that got ugly at the end. Even when you lose, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
So you agree with me?
I just wish by year 5 it wouldn't be such a mechanical, on this possession, they have called my number, I have the ball, I am going to the basket, I am going to pump fake, I am going to spin, I'm going to pump fake again, I'm going to put it up. No matter what. Like, that's not unicorn basketball.
When you treat him like a giant toddler throughout the early part of his career, that's what you're going to have happen, because I think and we've done this with other guys, and I'm not even being critical of fans here. I'm being critical of the way the Cavs have handled it to some degree, but at the same time, they had to do what they had to do. They had to win games. And when you get Donovan Mitchell at the very beginning, you want to see what you have with Donovan Mitchell, because he's the vastly superior player to what you have with all the other ones. Now, he might not have the most pure ability or pure ceiling, highest ceiling, the way that an Evan Mobley would, but these are things that you kind of had to go through. So I understand some of the stuff that's done in the past, but when you have a guy like Evan Mobley, nice guy, not an ass kicker, it's going to be very hard to do that. And I don't know if he has the natural confidence the way that a lot of NBA guys have. Like, there are guys, J.R. Smith was the most confident guy on the floor every single night. Damon Jones, which I know that's not the greatest example right now, was the most confident guy on the floor every single night, because they knew what they had to do and they were paid well to do it. For Evan, I think there's some confusion on what you need to do.
Well, that's why I thought this would be a great opportunity. I know we'll go to the phones here. Yeah. I thought it was a great opportunity to not have Darius, not have Max. You know, people were looking at it from the negative perspective. I'm like, guys, they're going to win a ton of games. They're going to be so much better than so many teams that they play this year. But I thought this would be the opportunity for Evan to just make that leap, because it would just come to him. Instead, they're forcing him to try to do that, and it clearly is something he's not comfortable with right now.
Mike in East Cleveland, you're first up on the Fan. Hello, Mike.
What's up, Ken? What's up, Lima?
Yo.
All right. I just want to make a couple of points. I'm not going to be long, though. So my first point is that, like, I called last week and I said that the Cavs are really just badly structured. I really don't know why Kobe gets so much credit for the roster he built when it's redundant and non-complimentary. And it looks kind of bad now. Just wait till Darius Garland and Max Strus comes back. And how does that Lonzo Ball signing look? Was he supposed to be a sharpshooter? But my point is about Evan Mobley, because, like I said, I called last week.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought he stretched things out pretty well last week.
Lonzo, I mean, it's not that it's not the ones he makes that's the problem.
I don't understand his shot selection. His shot selection is LaMelo Ball, not Lonzo. I don't know where he came in thinking he could take 30-footers. He's shooting 20% from three. The passing is beautiful.
What did you sign him for? You want him to go out there and take shots when he comes in. That's
I don't think the Cavs signed him to take 30-footers.
Oh, I disagree. I think listen, it ain't the most ideal thing in the world, but they want him to shoot. Shooters are going to shoot, and he's going to take some silly shots. I wish he knew his spots on the floor a little bit better.
He's never been a shooter.
I understand that, but again, what were one of the big things that they kept saying when they got him? Okay, we were worried about his health, but it's also he's going to shoot. He's going to shoot the bleep out of it. That's what they kept saying.
Yeah, see, and like I say, that's a foundational thing. That's because who gets Lonzo Ball? Like, let's turn him into Steph Curry. He's never been that. But please let me make this last point. Let me make my last point, and you can let me go.
Yeah.
About Evan Mobley. Like, I'm not saying trade him. I'm not saying blow it up. He sucks, but he's not a unicorn. The Cavs will never take that championship step until they say, hey, guys, he's just 19 and 7 rebounds. We can do something with that, but he's not Kevin Garnett. He won't be Wemby. He's not any of those people. We can't build around him because, like you guys have already said, he just doesn't have the confidence in himself to believe it. When he gets the ball, he's weak. Like, I'm 5'9", 140 pounds. He plays like I would play against those big dudes. He just stand out there and chuck threes. When you look at the guys like VJ Edgecombe, Wemby, Anthony Edwards, Chet, they all immediately impacted their teams for the better. But we got to wait 5 years for Evan.
Well, hold on. Evan immediately made them one of the best defensive teams in the league from day one.
You're right. You're 100% right. And like I said, you are the basketball guru. I'll give you that. You're right. But you don't draft somebody in the top 5 lottery pick to be a defensive stalwart. You draft him to change your franchise. He hasn't done that. He won't.
That's true. He's absolutely, you can't argue with him on that.
Yeah,
thank you for the call.
I'm a little conflicted because
he's right.
Like he's describing, who he just described as like DeAndre Ayton, like an 18 and 10 guy who doesn't impact winning. Guys, Evan impacts winning in a huge way.
But when we talk about the defense, like I think people are tired of hearing about the defense, and I don't think they want it to look clunky. The thing I would say to Mike is that the only way out is going to be through. So guess what? Tomorrow, you're going to be force-fed right there on the floor. Until you get comfortable, this is what's going to happen. You better get comfortable in doing something that's uncomfortable. That's the only way we're going to get further in the postseason. They're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. I can't bitch because they're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. And there may be a time where it's like, all right, this is done. We got to start winning some basketball games here. People are going to freak out. I hope it doesn't get to that, but it might reach a point in February. It's like, all right, we got to get going. We got to, and maybe there's some roster moves to make at that point. I'm not sure, but you're not going to get complaints from me from doing what I want them to do. Rodney and Litchfield, go ahead.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Before I talk about Mobley, I want to say what an entertaining World Series we have. It's just too bad that both teams have such large payrolls. That's the only thing that frustrates me about baseball. But Mobley, okay, can anybody dispute with me that he's gotten better every year?
I think he has.
He has.
Exactly. He's gotten better every year. If he was the biggest problem we had right now, I'd be doing cartwheels. He's not the biggest problem we have. Allen getting outplayed by stiffs in the playoffs, outmuscled by stiffs in the playoffs, and I know that's part of Mobley's job is to not get outmuscled. That's a bigger problem we have right now. Talking about Evan Mobley like he's the biggest problem we have, I think it's an absolute joke.
Well, he's not the biggest. Well, Rodney, let me tell you, he's not the biggest problem, but I think he's the most concerning because he has the highest ceiling. For Jarrett, I mean, we could trade Jarrett Allen during this season, but it's still going to boil down to what can Evan do to create opportunity for himself, but more in terms of Donovan Mitchell and to a lesser degree Darius Garland. Like the offense again, it's going to have to run through him. Go ahead.
Did he disappear in the playoffs last year?
Who?
Look up his numbers. Mobley.
No, I think you're going to say Jarrett Allen disappeared in the playoffs. I don't disagree with you, but I'm still, Rodney. I mean, we're kind of on the same page. We're arguing two different things.
Yeah. He's not Michael Jordan, but he's a hell of a good ball player. My God, he posts guys up when he's supposed to. Underneath the basket, he's a beast. And he's trying to get better at shooting threes, which he's done every year. I mean, if you guys want to talk about Mobley, you can talk about him all you want. He's not the problem.
Well, but I also think, Rodney, and thank you for the call, I'll say this. When it comes to Jarrett, I just see him as the easiest move piece of the core four. And so I don't put as much on him because I'm like, he might not be here in March.
Yeah,
that's much easier said than done with what they've got to do with their roster in the second apron. I know that.
Listen, in the NBA, it's about your best players, in almost 95% of the situations. And Mobley is not a problem. I totally agree with the caller. He's not a problem. The question is, can the Cavs be championship contenders with Donovan Mitchell as their number one, meaning Evan has not ascended to be the number one? And what I've seen so far in the postseason is no, they can't win a championship with Donovan because he's on fumes by the end of these series, and that's halfway through the playoffs. There would still be 2 more series. So you would either need Evan to make this huge leap for this construction of the roster to work, yes, with some of those pieces and parts that are redundant, or, Darius would have to turn into Steph Curry. And I just frankly don't see that happening.
Coming up at 6:43, this is what happens when you have thought partners whose thoughts really don't make any sense to anybody. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
to 80% plus bonus cash discounts and special financing. Wayside Furniture, keeping it local since 1937.
Heavy congestion 90 east from Hilliard to 71 and 77 north from 480 to Grant. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Headline sports news every 20 minutes from the University Hospital's sports desk. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Myles Garrett off the market, apparently, according to Adam Schefter, ESPN. Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Off the market.
Oh, you don't believe that?
That's it? I don't believe a lot of stuff I hear.
They said no chance. He said no chance. And then the source said, quote, people have a better chance of winning the lottery. What more do you want, Tone? I mean, they're not going to speak this week, so maybe you would want Andrew Barry to go out there and say something.
Because I thought about that when I saw it, and I saw a lot of people say, well, that's it. That's the end of it. And I'm like, man, I've covered sports way too long to ever take any of these guys at their word. Like, not Adam Schefter, but the people that tell Adam Schefter things. And in previous cases, there's always like, hey, get some rumors out. Like Steve Sarkisian, get some stuff out, float some stuff out just to see what kind of avenues there might be, what opportunities.
Well, yeah, through three quarters against Mississippi State, I don't think many Texas fans had any problem with him going to the NFL.
Well, the Browns don't need to do anything with Myles because he already had a trade request out there, and teams already called them. So it's not like they're dealing with a market they don't understand. So they don't need to put stuff out to divide the current team. They don't need to float any of that out. They already know that the minute they say, we are now fielding calls, they already know the ballpark of the offers. So they don't need to use Adam Schefter to try to juice up a market for Myles Garrett, the best defensive player, one of the best players in football. That was my only take on it.
There's also very small shot that you're going to win the lottery, and yet millions and millions and millions of people play it every year.
Yes, they do.
So just because the lottery's hard to win or the Myles Garrett trade's hard to win doesn't mean 31 other teams aren't going to play in it.
You guys don't believe that?
No,
I think that's wishful thinking. Not by you, by him. I think that's wishful thinking by Tone. I think that you look at this and you see this as a dead end, and you want more picks.
I do want more picks. There's no doubt.
Now, I know that Adam Schefter was the guy that reported that the Browns were the first ones out on Deshaun Watson, and that came at 10:30 in the morning on a Thursday. Yeah. And then later on, he
the first one's back in.
Announced that they signed him to a $230 million contract. All the thing.
Yeah, like the Browns don't need to tell everybody in the world they're trading somebody like Myles Garrett because they know they don't need to rig up a market for him. That's normally what happens with lesser players.
Yes.
Like you'll probably hear rumors about we're open for business on David Njoku. Like you probably will.
So you don't think that this is over with Myles?
No, I don't.
Again, I just think you're kind of having wishful thinking.
Well, it's not wishful. I don't want to kick Myles Garrett, the best Browns player in my lifetime, out the door.
Yeah, but you also want the picks.
He doesn't make sense on this team. He won't make sense next year on this team. He might make sense the year after, but they're not going to be Super Bowl contenders most likely in that scenario.
I understand.
So what? This just comes back to the point we've been making for the last 48 hours, which is...
I'll tell you this. I think that probably the conversation for now is over. I don't think it's a conversation that's really going to go anywhere. I think that we'll probably do this a couple of more times before it's all said and done with Myles, because eventually...
Oh, you don't think it'll be every year that they're not contenders?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying, though. But I even think if they were to become... if they were to become contenders, then I don't think that there's a conversation. But what's my realistic timeline for them becoming contenders? Because I can get a quarterback next year. Who am I going to have to protect him? And right now, the Jets have one win, you have two. Maybe the Jets sneak up and beat you on Sunday. Maybe some fans even want that. I don't, but I know how fans are. And, well, we think that this year is probably a wash, so we want to put the best face on for the future. So, okay, fine. I'm not going to sit there and scream and yell at people if they don't like that. Okay, fine. If you end up getting that guy, it could change your fortunes around very quickly. But in realistic terms, I think that I'm looking at another 2 years at least until I'm very competitive. Well, in the next 2 years, what happens with his dead cap? What happens with the hit? Is there not a conversation to have if this team is approaching the trade deadline and they are a 5-3 football team or a 3-5 football team at some point. I just don't know if the conversation's ever. I don't think the conversation's ever going to be over. I'm still not fully on.
No, you're going to hear about this in the offseason. You're going to hear at the deadline.
And if we can't get anything right when it comes to the quarterback, I'm certainly not fully unconvinced that he's going to finish his career with the Cleveland Browns. But because I think he's a fantastic player, and eventually the cap number and what you get back is going to mix. Now, it just depends on what you want to do as a franchise. I would say more than likely he's finishing his career with the Cleveland Browns, but I still can't rule anything out because he's an edge rusher. This is the NFL. Crazy things happen all the time.
You nailed that, omitting one thing.
What did I miss?
Which is, of course, the only reason why we ever truly think about moving guys once they get into their 30s is because it is a cost-benefit analysis of when his value is going to go down.
Yeah.
So when do we think... And I'd love an honest conversation about that because they're having that in the building. They have to have it for every player.
How old is he now? 29?
Is he 20? Okay.
29.
Most are first 5 sack game under 30. Yeah.
So obviously he looks amazing today. So it seems ridiculous.
30 late December, right before the new year.
It seems ridiculous to talk about when is he going to fall out of his prime when he looks like, oh my God, he's getting better every week. But it does happen in a hurry. Just ask J.J. Watt.
Yes.
Like, it collapses in a hurry. By the way, it might have happened to T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
It might have happened to T.J. Watt, who was arguably the best defensive player 2 years ago. And now not only he is he even the best defensive player on that team right now. Like, it falls fast with these guys. And Miles, his body makeup, even though he looks like an Adonis, like, would you be stunned if in 2 years he is slowing down and then has the first significant... He's never had a significant injury.
Well, I don't even want to...
Would you be shocked?
No, I wouldn't. But again, I don't want to speculate on the injuries as much.
You're playing the odds on that
stuff. I think you're looking at it going, as long as the... I think it boils down to this as simply as possible. As long as we're not serious contenders, he's going to be a conversation piece because people are going to look at him and say, what are you doing for your future and what are you doing with him now? Because the future is coming way further away than what his finish of his career is coming. So, I think that this conversation is not over. I think it's just kicked down the line. I think we'll probably do it in the winter. I think we'll do it in the spring. I think we'll do it, I hate to say it, I hope not, probably at the trade deadline next year. Like, as long as he is still an MVP caliber player, a defensive MVP caliber player, guys, you just get comfortable. It's going to happen every single year. So I think as of right now...
And some of that's his fault, too, for the demands.
Regardless, I do think this... But I think people are even talking about this before he made the demand. I mean, last year they were a 3-win football team, and there were plenty of people calling in saying trade Miles before he ever put out any statement about demanding a trade. So that is balderdash. I think for him... As long as he plays at a very high level and the Browns are not a very competitive football team, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I think it's over for this moment. I really do. I don't think that they want to do that right now. Their reasons are their reasons. If they were offered 2 first-round picks, if somebody was willing to do it, fine. But again, what 2 first-round picks are you going to get? See, if you really... I don't think that they're completely closed to making a move. That's it. That's all. But if you're going to talk about it, it's the same thing I brought up when I brought up yesterday when we were saying there are teams that right now, they got to look at it. Okay, well, they're probably going to finish 27th or later in the draft. How much does that really help you for Myles Garrett? Not that much. There are also teams that are going to talk themselves into it. Whether their general managers...
Those are the teams you want to try to deal with.
Exactly. Yeah. Whether their general managers' jobs are up against it, the owner has talked themselves into it, whatever it might be, and you know there's always teams that talk themselves into it and they end up falling flat on their face every single year. And that can end up being a very nice pick for you. So I think right now, it's very unlikely he gets traded. I think that this spring, there will be an open market. Depends on what type of cap hit you're willing to take and where you think your team is competitively. Because if this is still a team that has to be torn down before they get built up, I think that a lot of people have to consider whether or not the cap hit even matters. 216-474-0092. Joe Varden going to join us on the show. What did Ross Tucker almost have to walk back this week compared to what he said last week? This is what happens when thought partners don't always see eye to eye. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on that free Odyssey app. Peter & Company Jewelers in Avon Lake. You're a thought partner with your significant other, and I know.
can in the NFL. Yes, if you're hip to the show, congratulations. We've all been, me and you have been talking about this for how long now? And it's okay, at least we're now at a spot where nobody can defend Stefanski, nobody can defend Dillon Gabriel, and we all just collectively sit in a pile of suck.
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
I'm not embellishing here. I just heard that clip. I don't think I've seen worse. Did the 99 Browns, someone go look this up that's not Mitch. Did the 99 Browns go, how many games was it we didn't get over 20 points? 11? Well, it was 11 straight games, right? I don't think I've seen worse offense. I heard the clip, and I'm going, I think Nick is, I disagree with Nick. I think this is the bottom of the barrel, this offense.
I actually had notes on this for their DVOA.
You took notes?
For once, I had their DVOA every terrible Browns year, and 40. It seemed to be getting worse. So every time we thought that it couldn't get worse, it would get worse. And I have to look back and find it. I can't find it. But I do believe this year, statistically, by the advanced metrics, is the worst.
This is quite bad. Quite bad. And we're in the bye week. There's not a lot being said. There's not going to be anything that's said. And I made my case about that yesterday, and I don't need to belabor it anymore. We'll talk to Mary Cabot about it at 8:20. I didn't like the whole thing about, well, Kevin, ends up being the spokesman. I go, yeah, but when you're having a bad season, I'll just say this, when you end up having a bad season, you end up answering questions or having to try to field questions that really a head coach shouldn't have to field, because the conversation becomes a big picture conversation, because that's the thing that people care about. So eventually, and we were already seeing it, like when you're 2-6, and a couple of weeks ago, you guys aren't even talking about the Dolphins. You guys aren't even talking about the Steelers. I'm like, well, yeah, they made trades. And now you're going to get to, why are we talking about after the Jets game, why are we talking about the Jets? Why are we talking about the Ravens? Why are we talking, it's going to be, you're going to shift your focus. Well, those questions are what people care about, and you're going to end up asking the head coach those questions, and he can't field them. He can't talk about big picture stuff. So you end up asking questions that a GM should answer to a head coach. And we've seen that happen many, many times. Even when they do talk during the season, we've seen it happen many, many times in Cleveland. And I just don't think it's the most fair position. But we've said that a million times already. Ross Tucker last week, this is what happens during a season like this. And kind of the whole AFC North is going through it to a degree. This is last week what Ross Tucker said before the Browns took on the New England Patriots.
If the answer is Vrabel, I got to know who the offensive coordinator is. And on some level, if the answer is Stefanski, I got to know who the defensive coordinator is. And I think Stefanski's done a really good job having Jim Schwartz as a D coordinator. I think most teams would tell you, or most owners would rather have Stefanski than Vrabel. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One is Vrabel's personality is not for everybody. And secondly, the concern you have if Vrabel is your head coach typically is that he's not an offensive mind. He's not going to call the offensive plays. So if you have success with him as your head coach, that probably means you're moving the ball, scoring points, probably means your offensive coordinator is going to get a head coaching job elsewhere, which is not what you want.
Now, I understand what he's saying there. It is a good answer. It's not to throw Ross under the bus. However, I have to put that with what he was asked yesterday about everybody in the AFC North being on the hot seat.
I actually do. I think if the Ravens really falter, even when Lamar comes back and don't make the playoff, I think Steve Bisciotti will have some interesting decisions to make. Do I think he'll move on from Harbaugh? Probably not, but I don't think it's 0%. I would say the same for Mike Tomlin. If the Steelers lay an egg the rest of the way and don't make the playoffs, I think that the Rooney family would at least have to consider it. Zach Taylor, I would have said that I thought he had a free pass with Burrow getting hurt. But then when Flacco plays that well and you come out and you lose the next week to the Jets, that's a bad look for Zach Taylor. So I think he's on the hot seat. And then in Cleveland, you guys know I think Stefanski's a good coach. If he's 3-14 last year, and if they go 4-13 this year, definitely on the hot seat.
So I got a guy And again, it's not to throw Ross Tucker under the bus. I think he's trying to make sense of something that's really nonsensical in so many ways. Because again, we don't know fully what is going on. We can only throw around our own. We can only throw around our own theories. And boy, there's been some wild theories thrown out there, especially about the quarterbacks, which we'll bring up here at around 7:23 this morning. Do you look at it more where one side helps the other? They have to be thought partners no matter what. Do you think that do you think the NFL, the rest of the NFL, sees this more as a Barry problem or I would say a roster problem or a Stefanski problem?
I think it's absolutely being
the rest of the NFL.
Yeah, they're perceiving this as a roster
Bingo.
problem. In fact, I don't even think it's close. Part of it is because Stefanski, who is not, this is going to be, man, people are going to clip this and think that we are absolving one and going after the other. We're not. We've gone after both. We've done it countless times. So whatever,
guys.
But they can misconstrue it however they want. But people, every time I put on a national broadcast, Stefanski gets credit for the 2 coach of the years. People don't want to hear that, whatever. But they're the Browns and they made the playoffs. The coach is going to get a lot of credit for that. Especially because, again, it's the Browns, it's Jimmy Haslam. You know how people think of ownership. You know how people think of the situation here. So he gets credit for that. And then I hear people say, well, what is Stefanski supposed to do? Look at the 4 quarterbacks they came to camp with. You have 40-year-old Flacco. We don't have to go over it. We've gone over it 1,000 times. And then the offensive line that is, old and been in flux, and then the worst wide receiver room in the league. Yeah. And then having to play these rookies. And by the way, Barry will get credit for this nice rookie class, but the fact is you have to play these guys and have them be such a huge part of your game plans their rookie year, that's just not normal.
But you don't
that's
have a chance.
That's not a normal setup.
If you had a competent quarterback right now, you would have a better chance. You don't have a chance with these guys. Your quarterback is incompetent, no matter what they want to say. And if you feel that, well, he's a product of the system that he's in or the players he has around him, guess what? That's both Kevin and Andrew's fault. See, this is what I think is what's frustrating most Browns fans here, and rightfully so. As I think a Browns fan looks at it and goes, well, what more evidence do you need on either of this? Because I don't think a Browns fan is out there, a legitimate Browns fan listening to this. There's definitely some people outside Browns fandom, they might listen for whatever reason. I don't think that a legitimate Browns fan listens to us, makes a choice between Kevin and Andrew. I think the vast majority, in the 90s%, say, no, it's on both. It's on both. It's on both. There's no way you can't draw something better out of this offense. But there's also not much better that you can draw out of this offense. You can't do much. There's no way you can get so much more where this offense can look different. Guys, go ahead and let Tommy Rees call the plays. If you really want to let Tommy Rees call the plays, go ahead and let him. I don't think he's some wizard. I don't think that he can get much more out of Dylan Gabriel that you're already getting. I don't think you can get much more out of any of these guys you're already getting. Again, you have KT Levison playing. And you have a quarterback that is just not able to see the field because he doesn't have the experience because he's not ready yet. Okay, well, what forced you to put him in before he's not ready yet? Oh, yeah, because you traded away Joe Flacco. And there's so many things that tell me, based on what Mike Tomlin said, which people are coming around on, by the way, based on how Kevin Stefanski's answered questions, there's so many things that tell me he did not want to make that move because he knew that you're taking away a security blanket. So now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you look at it over the next couple of games, and Dylan Gabriel, who you're going to throw back out there apparently, Dylan Gabriel still can't catch his breath, still can't see the field and do things. Where do you go? You go to Shedeur? Well, clearly there's a difference in how we think of Shedeur and how they think of Shedeur. And who we'll find out who ends up being right because he's going to end up playing. Are you going to put Bailey Zappi out there? That isn't going to get anybody's bull running. Are you going to put Deshaun Watson out there? Well, I don't know. We talk about him as if he's some sort of threat to Browns fans going, you ain't seen nothing yet, so I don't think you want to put him out there. Again, I'm ranting and raving and being angry, and I think all the Browns fans, they have to agree with me going, it's on both. It's on both. You pick the players, you outpick the players, you say your thought partners, doesn't matter. You're not powerless in this situation. I wonder about the power structure. You're not powerless in the situation. One side is not powerless in the situation all of a sudden. I'm tired of looking at Kevin Stefanski as some sort of a victim here. He's not. He's the head coach of the football team. And if he's going to just let all the power go away, well, then that's still got to be on him to some degree. It's still got to be there because that's not how this is supposed to work. So I'm not going to stand idly by and say that one guy is just a victim of all this. No. Your thought partners, you've participated in this. You're part of what the responsibility is. And if things aren't going well, then you're part of the problem of this. And I think Browns fans are pulling their hair out going, what else do you guys need to see? I don't think Browns fans are picking and choosing and saying it's all on Stefanski or it's all on Barry. I think they look and go, I think it's on all of them. I think it's on DiPodesta. I think it's on the guy. I think it's on the people who are supposed to be this triumvirate that's in charge of the football team. That word's going to be used against me later on. That's a big word I don't like to use. But either way.
Yeah, I would just ask before we go to break, does the Joe Flacco going to the Bengals thing, does that let Stefanski off the hook, or does it make it even that much worse?
I think it makes it that much worse. He looks like he's played good football. And
because
so now it looks like,
if Stefanski was running an offense that had Jamar Chase and had T. Higgins, how different would it look with Flacco? Don't you think it would look a lot better?
I think a lot of fans look at it and say, I think any idiot could run an offense that had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on it. And Chase Brown's done a fine job here so far this season. I think a lot of people look at it that way. But you're telling me you couldn't get anything more out of Joe Flacco than what you've got already? Well, why is that? Well, we didn't give him many reps. Why didn't we give him many reps? Well, because of how we ran the training camp.
Yeah, but hold on.
Again, who picked the players?
Wait a second.
Who picked the guys to be in the training camp?
What reps did Flacco have with Cincinnati? That was instantly better. And nobody thinks Zach Taylor's a good coach. Come on.
But hold on. Do you need reps if you've been around for 18 years to throw to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins?
That's what I'm saying.
I think you need.
I think that's a point for Stefanski.
Okay, so we're on the same page. Again, that's why it's both their fault.
It is.
It's both their fault.
But you asked me who is the bigger problem, and I think it's Andrew Barry, and I think that's what the NFL thinks too.
216-474-0092. Is there any such thing as a bigger problem here? Is there any such thing? Because I think you guys look at it and go, what are you guys talking about? It's the same. It's the same thing. One guy one day, another guy the other day. It's the same problem. And introducing a new group of Browns fans to the slipperiest of wizards. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, Mary Kay Cabot in just over an hour. How far away are we from Shador actually getting to play for this football team? She'll answer it coming up at 8:20 on The Fan.
Anthony Lima.
World Series history. Back-to-back homers to open up the game as Davis Schneider and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did the trick. Toronto now leads the series 3-2. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. All starts tonight at 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
We got some numbers to back up some claims here. Nick, congratulations. You get to do a champion's pose. What did you do? Chat GPT over there?
No. I looked up the EPA per play, which is what is being...
What has happened to you?
It's kind of being accepted by most...
You used to be so half-assed and fun.
Of the football... I would just go yards per game or points per game.
Or you used to just not even look it up and go, yeah, I'm right.
And then avoid looking like, well, how many of those points were defensive generated or like a punt return for a touchdown? And that's not the way to do this at all. EPA per play is considered the gold standard, I think. There's DVOA too, that's out there. But I've got all the EPA per play since 1999. And last year was actually the worst.
Okay.
Offensively, they ever were. They're almost tied this year with last year.
Well, now wait, we still have more time.
There's more games. Can it get worse?
Season left.
There you go.
Well, is Shedeur going to help or hurt this?
We will. We'll find out. Hopefully, eventually.
As people said, it couldn't get worse. It couldn't get worse after Joe Flacco. What has it done?
It can, and it always will get worse.
It got worse.
Yeah.
So can it get?
The beatings will continue.
Can everybody
until
get on
morale
record
improves.
right now and establish whether or not? I want everybody on record at the station.
Okay.
I want complete polling done by the entire
Mitch,
station.
get on the microphone.
Please do the polling. I want everybody to submit their blue books by the end of today. So, can it get worse?
Can it or will it?
Right now, they are at negative 0.18 EPA. That is 31st in the NFL.
Who's worse?
Who's worse? The number one overall pick.
Oh, the Jets.
Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, yeah, they scored a bunch of points on Sunday, the Jets did. Okay, never mind.
They are the absolute worst. So, we are at negative 0.18. Last year, we were at negative 0.19. So, it was worse last year by a nose.
How on earth was it worse last year?
So, I ask.
Congratulations, Nick.
Can it get worse than where it is right now?
By 1/10 of a point, he's correct.
By Shedeur Sanders, by Deshaun Watson, by Bailey Zappi. Can it get worse?
I'm a very emotional guy. I go by the emotions. It can get worse emotionally. I don't know if statistically it can get worse. But we have another game against the Jets on Sunday. And I think Quinnen Williams could actually unhinge his jaw and swallow Dylan Gabriel. Like Smithers when he was Slithers on the Treehouse of Horror and swallowed Mr. Burns. It's one of the greatest scenes of television I've ever seen. Do you think it can get worse? I say yes.
I kind of think it can.
There you go, Owen.
Yeah.
Mitch.
Sure.
Do you even know the question I asked, Mitch?
Yeah.
Can the offense get worse?
Okay.
Yes, what color uniforms the Browns wore last week?
We can't get a yes or no. I just get a sure.
I'm trying to be positive.
Okay. There we go. There you get that from Mitch. Mr. Positivity there. Reactions coming in, brought to you by Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Grass and Bass on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube live for absolutely free. Says, Lima is a coward for thinking Stefanski taking back play calling would actually help. Called you a coward, Tone. Thoughts?
Wait, taking back?
I don't know. Just called you a coward. I thought it was funny that the guy called you a coward.
Were we even talking about the play calling and who should get it? That wasn't the topic. Where did we even talk about the play calling?
I don't know. I think it was during the last segment. I just saw someone call you a coward, and I say I'm putting him to the top of the list.
Move by changing the subject of the thing that he changed first.
Boom.
Way
there
to
you go,
coward.
There you go.
But taking it back, did he give away the play calling this year?
I don't know.
He did not.
Well,
So
he took
where
it back this year. He took it back going into this year.
because the guy he let call plays, they also fired.
Yeah, he's not here
It'd be
anymore.
really weird if Ken Dorsey was still calling plays, as he's not a member of the coaching
But he
staff.
took it back.
Did you say that he should give up the play calling to Tommy Rees?
No. I said go right on ahead and give it up to Tommy Rees.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to be some sort of magician, some wizard that's going to change this offense. I don't think that they're very good, and that's why some of this has to go. Half goes to Kevin, half goes to Andrew. If you want to go a little bit of a percentage point one way or the other, fine, go right on ahead. Like Nick brings up to me on Twitter here, we're overlooking the impact, Ken. We're overlooking the impact Watson's contract has made on the makeup of the team. To me, it's clear they budgeted the salary cap on both sides of the ball. What you're seeing now is an offense with 60% of the salary cap, which is 31%, is Watson. No money / picks equals low talent. Boom, he is absolutely right. One hand washes the other. I think you could probably get more out of this offense. You're not going to get Joe Flacco with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but you're still going to be able to get some more out of this offense. You're not going to get Baker Mayfield with Emeka Egbuka and Mike Evans before Mike Evans got banged up. But you could still get something more out of this. But at the same time, who traded Joe? Who wanted to trade Joe?
Yeah, the other thing I would ask,
we don't know these things.
There has been so much speculation, and I've seen it treated as gospel that Kevin Stefanski, he was the one that signed off on Dillon Gabriel. I have run that up plenty of flagpoles. I have not gotten confirmation on that. The afternoon show asked Albert Breer about that, and he's like, no, it was, their thought partners, blah, 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 blah. But he didn't say that Kevin Stefanski, stood on the table and said, get me Dillon Gabriel in the third round.
Well,
where did that report come from? I know there was a report, but I haven't seen that validated anywhere.
So my report came from, I don't want to misattribute it. There was somebody who you and I know very, very well that comes on the station many times. He was at the Senior Bowl, and he said Kevin Stefanski was just around Dillon Gabriel the whole time.
Okay.
So I think we immediately went, okay, he's got to be Kevin's pick. But I'm just saying he may very well be Kevin's pick. I don't know for sure.
Maybe.
Everything's in doubt because we have long memories, and Hugh Jackson was like, you got to trust me on this one. And he didn't want Cody Kessler. Okay, I'll say one thing for the guy. He didn't want Cody Kessler.
That's one good thing that Hugh stood up for an organizational bad move.
He just went out and decided to be the good name about it. Decided
to be fair. To be fair, as I'm trying to run that up the flagpole, who exactly is embracing the Dillon Gabriel selection? So it wouldn't surprise me if people are like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me at all.
It's true.
After they saw him play in NFL games, because in the end, nobody knows until they play. You can't truly evaluate processing. What you can evaluate are limitations, like can he see in the pocket? And that to me surprises. It surprises me. Remember when people said, well, he's been short his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of guys have been short their whole life and they can't make the jump to the NFL.
It's just not even that. Like, hey, man, you might be able to process it on a whiteboard, and you might be able to process it when you play at Oklahoma and you play at Oregon and when you play it at UCF. It's just a different story here, and the processing's different, and you're a third-round pick, which we could even say, well, he was overdrafted. Okay, even if he was overdrafted, still a third-round pick is not expected to process within the first month of the season as a starter. But because of the way my offense went with Joe, I had to see something different. I just didn't want to trade Joe. So here we are. And right now, he's not in a great position. He's put in a bad spot. His offensive line is rough. I wanted to make the change. And right now, I'm ready to make another change. Because I full on believe that a guy who's a career backup, and I'll say this, a guy that's a career backup can come back into the season. If you were to make the move to Shedeur, and Shedeur was either to one, get hurt, or B, suck up the room, you could bring a career backup back in as a backup and have him play for a few games again. Like, I don't think the door's just closed on Dillon Gabriel ever playing in the NFL once Shedeur plays, because I forecast Dillon Gabriel being a career backup. That's what they do.
Now, to be fair, too, to Dillon for the first time, you don't just close your mind on a guy 4 games in. Like, you don't just say he can never get better.
We have get better. I hope he can get better than this.
Yeah, because we've always been saying, well, now teams have tape on him. Well, of course, he's going to also kind of learn the league a little bit.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You could always bring him back. I don't think it's over, and he needs a change of scenery after this. Yes,
but what are, for lack of a better word, what are his shortcomings right now? It's his size, right?
He's not overcoming that.
I don't think it's just that. I'm sorry. I think if the guy was 6'10", I think that he would still have problems.
He'd still have thrown it into the flats in the end zone, and he would have seen that no one was standing over there?
But
you think he wouldn't have chunked a ball 60 yards into the opposing team's hands?
I think I think his offense isn't complete. I think B, that frustrates him because that offense isn't complete. I think that the game speeds up on him because he feels the walls are closing in on him. Maybe you could say it because of size, but I don't think he has very great protection. He has to get rid of the ball quickly. He can't get wide receivers open. These guys do not get open. I'm watching Isaiah Bond, as Lima illustrates, give up on routes. Jerry Jeudy's just out there for his own cardio. That's all he's doing on Sundays, and that's not even a knock on Jerry Jeudy.
He might be running really good routes, but he's certainly not going to get the ball thrown at him.
What I'm seeing right now is a quarterback that if he were 6'5",
are they telling him not to throw it to him? Because to me, it's a thing that Dylan can't see him.
That could be.
It very well could be. It doesn't.
You just listed off a bunch of stuff.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Okay, no, without a doubt. I don't want to blame everything though on his height. I don't want to blame everything on it. Now, I'm sensitive to it because I think some other guy, and this isn't your fault, you haven't done this, some other guys have taken some really nasty shots about his height. Like some very weird things. You haven't done that. But because I look at it and go, I think he's 6'5", 6. I think if he were 6'5", 6'6", he's still playing like a guy who maybe you'd have a little bit more confidence if you were a bigger guy. Fair. But I still think he's a guy
I think he's got the maximum amount of confidence that a 5'9" or 5'10" or 5'11", whatever we're saying, can have. I don't think he can see anybody.
I don't know, man. Doug Flutie played with a lot more confidence than him.
Doug Flutie had spent time in Canada.
Too. Yeah, you did. 216-474-0092. Alvis in Cleveland, you're first up on the Fan. Yellow.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm back.
Congratulations. Hello. Go right on ahead, Alvis.
I'll let him laugh at that again.
Hey, I just want to say one thing. I believe that Kevin Stefanski's offense is hindering a lot of these quarterbacks. Now, with Dylan Gabriel, he's a little guy, so he really can't see. That's why we can't take them shots down the field. And he's Kevin Stefanski's guy because he's going to stick to the game plan. Like I said yesterday, he hasn't came to the line one time and changed the play. So basically, he's really dooming himself. Because if you see something else, even though the play is called for this, but if you come to the line like any other quarterback would do and see a DB cheating on one of your DB or your safety come up or cheating, what's going to be on the quarterback's mind? They're going to audible. He hasn't audible not one time. With Shedeur, we don't know if he's going to audible or not, but I do know this. He'll be able to make them throws downfield. He'll be able to see them guys downfield and get the ball to them accurately. So, I mean, it's just he is in a no-win situation, you ask me, because, like I say, the offense is not opening up for him, and he really can't see. And he can only go to one side because he can't throw. He can go left, but he can't go right and throw back across.
Well, that actually hurts as well, Elvis. Thank you for the call, because it doesn't just half up the field, it quarters up the field. Adam in Cleveland, you're next up on the Fan.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Hey. Doing well, Adam. Go ahead.
Big fan. So I might drop a little different view of this because my buddies have been called a Kevin Stefanski stan. I mean, I've gone away from it. I have two things for you guys because I feel like 80 or 90% of the chat just want to say, or people just want to say, fire Stefanski and put the blame. Who are you going to fire him for this year? Dude, let me list the three top head coaching people right now for this year's offseason that I've seen or heard. You have Matt Nagy. You have Arthur Smith, or I believe it's one of the, I forget the other person, but it's all up there. Or people I hear say Brian Flores.
I can. So wait a minute. I don't. Kevin Stefanski should stay employed because of all those names.
No, that's not. This is my other point to this.
Okay.
Because again, I get very scared, or at least I was a big Baker person. I was. Even when he had a throwing broken shoulder and we wanted to throw him under the bus because he threw interceptions against the Packers game, which was terrible, don't get me wrong. But I said to people, I said, we're being ungrateful a little bit here. Again, do we want to win a Super Bowl? Yes, but we're the Cleveland Browns, as Lima likes to say all the time. Going to the playoffs with the Browns is a pretty good accomplishment. So, since Eric Mangini back in those days, and I was a kid during those days, since the time span of Eric Mangini to, let's say, Freddie Kitchens, how many times did we go to the playoffs or have a good season?
Like once or twice. So what's the issue?
How many times has Stefanski done it since he's been here in 5 years?
You've been there twice.
I'm just saying, guys. Everyone wants to fire and throw people under the bus. No one. again, I know it's knee and jerk. It's the NFL.
I don't want to fire him, Adam. Make a case that he should keep his job right now. I don't want to fire the guy. What tells you that this is going to be more successful in the future?
I mean, again, like I said, I think it will. I just think
Adam.
He's just saying you couldn't replace him with somebody better.
That's our problem, Adam.
But I guarantee you, someone will hire a coach in the next cycle. Just like someone will take a quarterback in a bad draft, and that quarterback will end up being good. There will be good coaches every year that emerge.
It's the same reason that they're saying every coach in the AFC North is on the hot seat. Sometimes teams just need a change.
Guys, it's a performance-based business. And Owen is 1,000% correct about that. It's also a performance business, and things run their course at times.
But I can't
keep people just because I keep. If my argument is to keep looking at the past about keeping people for the future, that is not the reason to do it.
Yeah, as of today, there's no Mike Vrabel gift wrapped, ready to go, fully baked. There might be. John Harbaugh might be available. Mike Tomlin might be available. We don't know. It's still too early to tell.
You're going to get a coordinator or somebody that you're probably not going to be all the way comfortable with. You might get a college coach that you're not going to be very comfortable with. Like, it's not going to be some home. They're going to, if they were to press the nuclear option, I'll say this because I know we got to go to break. If they were to press the nuclear option, you're going to hear some big names out there. It's Cleveland Browns. Okay? They always go big game hunting.
Nick Saban will get interviewed.
You are going to hear
or they'll attempt to interview Nick Saban.
Somebody somewhere will say, if the Browns call, Nick will listen. You will hear some big names, but they will more than likely get a coordinator or a college coach that you won't all the way trust. 100%. And Kevin, God bless him, may go on to something else. There are times where things they run their course. They run their course. And I see both sides not doing very well right now. And I don't want them to be fired. I also can't find a way that they get out of this together, becoming more successful in saving any part of the season and getting into the future. Coming up at 8:20, Mary Kay Kevin. Maybe she sees a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you want to have a chance at a great night in June, you're going to have to deal with some bad nights in October, and in November. It's Ken Carman. It's Anthony Lima. About Last Night coming up in 5 on the Fan.
92.3.
to get all of the best audio and best stories sent straight to your inbox. 923thefan.com.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0, no one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him, how he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Well, last night was a bit of a tough one in Boston for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They lost 125-105, dropping 3-2 on the season. 5 double-digit scores for the Cavs lineup, but also for the Celtics as well, as Kenny Atkinson talked after the loss, talking about how the offense is still a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. You know, we're average to sub-average. Again, we're not moving that thing around like we should, and we got to get back to our identity a little.
As far as shooting goes, the teams weren't really that separate. It's just basically the rebounds and the inside play that really put the Celtics over the Cavs.
Don't get back to your identity. Keep doing what you're doing. These are tough lessons that need to be learned. Do them.
It doesn't surprise me that the ball movement isn't what it typically was when you had Darius and Max Strus. Those guys moved the basketball. They were good at finding the open guy, and that's what led to the Cavalanches of years past. Right now, they are trying to force this Evan Mobley thing, which I think...
Force it.
I think... what's your name?
Hi,
oh, my
Ken.
God.
We've been with each other for a long time now.
I glitched.
There you go.
Hi.
Ken is exactly right that it is what we wanted out of this team. We did want to see Evan potentially make a leap. I would admit it looks pretty forced right now. I thought it would look more organic. I thought it would just be Evan Mobley, corralling a rebound and then easily coming down the floor. But as you notice, teams are putting small forwards on him and they're turning him. They're more physical. They're going to be allowed to have a little more contact. And Evan does not like that, and his ball handling isn't at a level that he can deal with that
I think everything that he does, nothing is organic. I think it's been everything with this team that we've tried to force him to do has almost been like, he's a deer in headlights, and it's I don't know if it's going to hit. It's like my son with baseball. It's like, I don't know if this is going to go well for you. That's the way it goes. And I don't know if it's going to go well for Evan in the NBA as far as being a one percenter, as far as being the catalyst to a championship. But the only way to find out is to keep doing what you're doing. So keep doing what you're doing. I don't care how much it makes people angry that they lost to the Celtics.
Also,
yesterday.
Donovan probably should not have played, I think, because it was nationally televised, and he was sitting there, going through the warm-ups early on. He's like, all right, I'm going to give it a go. And so I wonder, does that jeopardize his status for the debut of the Emirates Cup on Friday against the Raptors? Oh, boy.
I don't know. I don't like. You know how I feel about the cup. I keep my opinion to myself.
We're giving away tickets to that opening cup game.
Yeah, I just want to go
Friday
see
night.
a game. I don't need to go see a cup game. It doesn't matter. I don't think they care about the cup game.
I want to talk about real championships here. I want to
talk about it.
Real championships here for a second, because
Say
we
it.
had Game 5 of the World Series last night. Toronto and Los Angeles kicking off in a big way here in the top of the first inning.
Here he comes, off and going Game 5 with a fastball that's hit in the air to deep left field. Call to the track. It's on the first pitch of Game 5. Davis Schneider into George Springer's shoes and doing a great impression.
Audio via Fox, Vlad Guerrero went yard 2 pitches later. The Blue Jays win to take a 3-2 series lead. How are the Dodgers' chances going back to Toronto?
Could they do this, Tone?
Well, wait a sec. I was told to watch this superstar on, the Dodgers?
Shohei Ohtani.
And then I saw him pitching. He wasn't very good at that. And now I saw that he's 0 for 4. I know he had the one really good game, but the other games he was 1 for 4, 1 for 5. I was told I had to stop everything to watch this guy. And I said, no, I'd rather stop and watch Wembanyama. And right now I've been vindicated.
If you go to Game 7, he's probably your starter, so you'll look out for him there.
He's going to pitch. He's going to.
Everyone's going to pitch games. Yamamoto was out in Game 3 in the bullpen after throwing 100 pitches. He's going to pitch.
I heard that, Owen. I heard that.
I heard it, and I just stared at him.
He just gave it the thumbs up. Like a politician. Anyway, this has been an amazing series, actually. The ratings are up.
You don't care. What do you mean this has been an amazing series? You haven't watched a pitch.
The ratings are up exponentially, internationally, locally. In the States, they're down 14%.
You sound like somebody talking about Game of Thrones.
Well,
back
this
in the
is
day.
now an
Great
international
movie.
game.
Great show.
Well, what's happening here?
Yeah, I watch it. Yeah, I watched it.
Finally, here we have this is from some college football yesterday. We mixed it in the world of politics because Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry had a bit of a thing here involving the next head coach of LSU.
I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. And we're going to make sure that that coach is successful. And we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly. And we're going to put metrics on it. Because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill.
Basically throwing the athletic director under the bus.
Well, if the athletic director didn't have a record of overpaying guys that became failures, Jimbo Fisher and Brian Kelly, I mean, I could go back at that and say, well, does because the taxpayer ends up paying, like, what's Dabo's contract? Doesn't he get paid like $400,000 and then the rest of it is all by businesses and boosters?
Yeah.
That's usually how these things go. Like, I don't know if the Louisiana taxpayer is paying for his buyout, but he's right to say, nah, I probably shouldn't have Scott Woodward pick the next coach. Probably shouldn't do that.
You got to comment on the accent. I feel like you have to.
It made me want to watch Swamp People again.
What was the Cajun cooking
Cajun
guy?
Creole accent.
Yeah. What was
Justin?
Yeah.
The cayenne pepper guy?
Yeah, man.
Justin Wilson.
Justin Wilson.
We watched that guy religiously when I was young, and I couldn't believe I said because very young. I'd say that's in America. That's America, and
it's a big country.
I absolutely could listen to that guy talk all day, every day.
It's lots of dialects because it's such a large country.
That's it for about last night.
Sea to shining sea.
That's right,
as some say. So you're going to get a lot of different accents and ways of speaking.
Did they think that when that guy that we just played, the governor, when he listens to us talk in Northeast Ohio, what does he think? Because we always think, we don't have an accent, which isn't true. Every part of the country has a certain accent.
I heard the Midwest accent is actually, like, when it comes to broadcasters, that's what they want, because we don't have a whole lot of wild fluctuations and things like that. Even though you got, like, okay, so this is how I know I'm, like, definitely from an outer ring suburb, like it's Canton.
Mm-hmm.
You guys act like I might as well be in Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, you guys
when you start talking NASCAR,
you guys act like I live in Moultrie, Georgia. No, just by the way I say certain things, the way I pronounce certain things. That's the way you guys are. And I'm like, what, you guys got that Cleveland A. I don't say anything about the Cleveland A. But you know what? I'm not going to put up a wall between Canton and Cleveland.
There are parts of Central Ohio though they sound more Southern than me and the people that I grew up around.
Right along the river as well, though, it is this weird mix. And it's Southern with the Pittsburghese, the Yinzer, with West Virginia, with Midwest, and it's like, I don't know how you're getting through the sentences.
Down in Marietta, Parkersburg area, the Mid-Ohio Valley, they'd say Cage instead of coach. The Cage.
Well, I remember the one time the one guy said something to you when we were at that wedding, and I knew exactly what he was saying then.
Catch these knuckles in your mouth. That's what happened there.
Goodness.
Almost got into a brawl at my buddy Dustin's wedding. Okay, it happened.
No, that was at Keith's wedding.
Oh, Keith's
wedding. Dustin was there.
Yeah.
Dustin diffused it.
Yeah, they could have gotten ugly.
I think the guy saw the size of Dustin. Dustin's a big guy for a cornerback. And I think the guy was like, okay, I'm standing down. This guy could probably beat me. Can we tell people where we were?
Was it
It was the Double L in Marietta,
the
Ohio.
Double L, yes.
At the Double L.
Shout out to the Double L.
Anything with double in it, you better be ready. You better be ready to feed some knuckle sandwiches.
Anything. You can put anything after that.
Yeah.
The Double Saint. Whoa, you don't want to go to the Double Saint.
I don't want to go there.
They will wreck you.
No.
They will spin you around and get your ass.
Do I ask this question, or are people going to take this as a troll?
The Double Petunia. Whoa, I've seen many get marred at the Double Petunia.
I have to tease ahead now. This is a radio show, you ass. Coming up next, the slipperiest of wizards got a lot of new Browns fans. Well, they're only here temporarily, according to them. Those are their words, not mine. The slipperiest of wizards got some people worked into a shoot. And Mary Kay is going to join us at 8:20. It's a question almost too diabolical to ask, but it was actually brought up yesterday by real journalists. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, you do not want to go anywhere. The 8 o'clock hour is going to be wild on the Fan.
You do not want to go to the double Mother Teresa. Anthony Lima for Q.
enough. Oh, the safety. Thank you for reminding me. The safety. The supercomputer apparently didn't think to, hey, I'm here. I can't just go ahead and intentional ground in the freaking end zone.
The look on his face when that ball hit the ground.
By the way,
stuff I legend.
If supercomputers ran like Dylan Gabriel, we'd have no fear of AI taking over.
That's right. That's a good point.
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Looking for a winner right now. You got to be the 9th caller at 216-474-0092 to win a pair of tickets to see the Foo Fighters with the Queens of the Stone Age August 10th. Huntington Bank Field tickets on sale this Friday, 10 a.m. Ticketmaster.com. It's all from Live Nation and Sports Radio 92.3 Fan.
Excellent. I want to congratulate Mayor Justin Bibb, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa!
Congratulations to the mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 list is out, and we are no longer amongst the top 10 of the rattiest cities.
Boom.
And we're just getting started.
The cities with the most rats, we are now outside of the top 10. We fell to number 11. Top 10 rattiest cities. Feel like I need to do it like a David Letterman thing. Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Up 8 spots. In this economy, the rats are moving to Hartford?
Well, Bibb pulled that stunt, and he shipped all those rats over to Hartford. I remember that.
Hartford rat swap.
Tried to put them in the hotels up there. They didn't like that at all.
D.C. is 6. Detroit, up a spot. They're at 7. Number 8, Philadelphia. Number 9, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Cold weather up there. The rats are home. And number 10, Denver. Denver's got more rats than Cleveland. Oh, look at us.
It's because the air's
all
thinner.
Clean. Ah, yes. Other Ohio cities real quick. Columbus, this is courtesy of The Independent. They were just the one I finally found it. I was looking at Fox 2 Detroit, and they couldn't give me the top 10. Number 21, Columbus. They are down 4 spots. And number 27 is Cincinnati. They are up 8 spots out of the top 50. Number 50 overall is Buffalo.
It is pretty incredible.
Would make a good ahead or behind.
When
right
the New York City, the stereotype of the rats, I mean, it's 100% true because there's nowhere to hide there. They're going to be out in the open and there's garbage everywhere because for good reason. Look how many people live there. And when you see them, you're appalled. But the people that live there are just like, yeah.
It's like
every day.
Seeing like raccoons.
Like cats.
Like I don't get worked up seeing raccoons.
Don't care.
I don't get upset seeing like squirrels.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't think it's anywhere near the same thing. And the squirrels don't hang out near garbage. Raccoons do.
Just the massive size of them. It is incredible.
There was one time we had a possum, and he just went right under the car when I was living on 144th.
There you go, Ken.
What?
Fire rank.
Vermin?
Those vermin that you see in Northeast Ohio.
Number 1 is a possum. Number 1 is definitely a possum.
Okay.
Number 2.
Can you raise a possum?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you can. Number 2 is definitely a raccoon. I count that as vermin. Number 3, nice field mouse. Usually once or twice a summer, I got to take care of a mouse in the house. Somewhere there.
The noise they make when the trap goes.
I yell at the kids. It backfired on me real quick because I yell at the kids, and I'm like, I had to do that because of you. Because you guys leave garbage in the garage, and you don't put it in the garbage can, and then these mice come in, and I have to kill the mice. And they are not affected at all. In fact, they enjoy me doing it, which is sick but true.
That's why you have to get a house snake.
I thought they would kill. I'm not getting no house snakes. Hell no.
Just get cats.
I'm allergic.
The neighbor has
cats,
a cat.
so house snakes it is.
The neighbor has 2 cats. They're outdoor cats, and they're mousers. And so I just count them as our cats, and that's the way it goes.
And do they present them right on your front stoop?
I have no idea. I had one time a fox was eating a frog out in the driveway. That was fun. I was showing the boys, I go, get down here, check this out. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Did you run it over too? Or?
I felt like American fat David Attenborough. There's the fox.
Boys, take your matches over there.
The boys take a look at the fox. And the fox eats the rat. The fox is now eating the frog.
Whoa, look at that one. I swear to God, it's in the backyard right now.
The boys are awestruck. Coming up at 8:20 this morning, Mary Kay Cab going to join us on the show. You got several Shador fans worked into a shoot yesterday.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't even know. when it comes to you and the Shedeur stuff, I just present it to you and away you go.
I'm so
I don't
confused.
even know what we're arguing anymore.
Yeah, I don't either because...
Well, no, because you've brought me into your hemisphere of crap, and so now I have to deal with all this stuff. And I go, guys, I wanted Shedeur. I want to play Shedeur. Why am I getting nasty messages here?
It's like a 9 Inch Nails lyric.
What was it, a hemisphere of crap?
Yeah, that's what, I can't call it something else.
Okay, I want you to go with the checklist with me because I know we have so many. We're so grateful. We're so thankful of all the Sanders people around the nation that have helped make us number one and all that stuff. It's been great to have you guys along for the ride.
I'm not going to that meeting. That's on you.
So hold on. You would agree with me on the following. Did we not talk a lot about how excited we were watching Shedeur last year? Really for 2 years. Right?
Yeah.
In Colorado, right?
Yes.
How many podcasts, how many times did we go?
Many.
Okay.
Many.
So.
We had our buddy Ryan on from DNVR.
That's right. Okay, so that's a check, right?
Yes.
Then, did we not talk about him as a first-round graded prospect because of what we read at the time, before the Combine? Did we not do that? Did we not haggle over, well, Cam Ward, then maybe would you take Shedeur? Okay, so check. Obviously, we would have liked a guy enough to even venture talking about him. I don't look silly now, but venture talking about him as a first rounder. That's check. When they drafted him, because we did not want Dillon Gabriel, let's just put the cards on the table. Me and you.
No, we didn't think about Dillon Gabriel. I don't think there was ever a segment that we're like, well, we can't take Dillon Gabriel.
When did they take him? What day of the draft was it?
Second day, number 94 overall. Because when I first... So you get to find out before they actually draft who they're going to draft, before everybody else finds out, even before like the when Lock and Fury used to ruin it for everybody. And we were just like, oh, because I thought that they were going to take Shedeur there. And so I'm looking around the room. They ended up taking Dillon Gabriel, which ended up being a totally different conversation for the rest of the weekend.
Another check. We all like Shedeur more than Dillon Gabriel.
Yes.
And when they drafted Shedeur, what did we do?
I celebrated. You and I were at the Flying Monkey.
We
ordered
nuts.
shots.
We ordered
shots and then did Super Bowl Super Browns. It was the nice bartender. She took our video. A Super Bowl Super Browns with all your friends.
But there
was a lot of nice people there.
Maybe
that day.
Jess. Might have been Jess.
Okay.
But we had a blast.
How do you know her name?
Check. Spent many years.
Over there to Bay Village.
I was a regular.
Oh, interesting.
So all check marks. We absolutely loved them. I think what happened since then was we hear things. So stuff gets back to us, and then we also logically conclude that a desperate football team it has a guy a fourth, and then all right, they get rid of Kenny Pickett, so he's third. Then we see some preseason stuff, some good, and then it ended really, really bad. Whatever. We didn't say that was the end of the world for Shedeur Sanders. And then you kind of just sit here and wait because he's not going to get a bunch of reps when he's third string, right? Well, then they trade Joe Flacco, and now it's getting real. Now it's like, hey, is he actually ready? Is he ready? Because how could he not be getting reps? How all of this? And we questioned all of this. And so what's happened in the last week? Well, the Sanders people have seen, and fairly, they are totally being fair in this, they're seeing a quarterback that looks like the worst quarterback in football in Dillon Gabriel. So they're jumping to the conclusion, like, oh my God, this is catastrophic that Shedeur is not playing in front of him. And all I'm saying is, why isn't he playing in front of him? Why do they have him so far behind?
Well, this is
throughout this whole process.
This is where
It's not his arm talent. We both agreed he has more arm talent than Dillon Gabriel. Do we not?
But this is where you and I part ways. You didn't answer my question. Why am I getting cussed out too?
I don't know.
I'm getting cussed out, and I shouldn't be getting cussed out. I don't know why I'm getting cussed out.
Yeah, guys, stay off Ken. This isn't Ken's fight. Ken is not a racist, no matter how much you guys want to believe that.
This is the
or try to prove that.
What are you doing?
They're trying to prove it with documents and whatever. Guys, it's ridiculous. Ken is not a racist. I've been around him for a long time. He doesn't judge anybody by the color of their skin. He's just not doing it.
Stop it now.
He made fun of my skin.
Of their character.
He called me. He said,
No, I haven't.
He said I have olive oil skin.
No, I did not say that.
Yes,
I did not say that. No, I didn't.
Hey,
no,
I said in a pejorative way. And quite frankly, me and my Italian Americans are not going to stand by here and listen to that anymore.
No.
Especially Columbus Day, where you come and celebrate with us.
No.
Or the feast.
No.
Or any of those.
No.
So, the only thing that I did over the last few days is I posted a clip on Zach Jackson's podcast because we have all wondered out loud, how did Shedeur slip? Why was he considered a fifth rounder when we thought he was a first rounder? And so Zach Jackson had Nick Baumgartner on. He was at the Northwest South East West Shrine Bowl. The South by Southwest Shrine Bowl.
The East West Shrine
and
game.
He gave an explanation and said, well, there was a bait and switch. They thought Shador was going to be there, whatever. I just posted the clip. And then they came at me relentlessly.
Well, because Art Galco had a post that supported Shador Sanders. Guys, this is still my only point.
He runs the bowl game.
I can't control what you say about me on the internet, okay? My only point is this. I want Shador Sanders to start. I want him to start against the Jets. Ain't going to happen. So I have to watch Dylan Gabriel more than likely struggle and get chased down by Quinnen Williams and a lot of other guys. I want him to start. My thing is, I don't think that they are trying to sabotage Shador. I don't think they're trying to sabotage his family. The only thing that I would think of is that, well, the Browns haven't necessarily got the quarterback position right in the past. How am I to trust that they're getting the quarterback position right now? I've heard nothing nasty about Shador Sanders. I've heard nothing negative about Shador. None of it. Okay? And I think there's a lot of things that are going out there that I'm not going to subscribe to because I don't know. And because I don't know does not mean I'm going to shoot my mouth off about it. If I knew, I'd say it. I don't, so I won't. I don't think that he's being a bad teammate. I don't think he's not getting the offense. I don't think any of those things. I want him to start. I think he's going to start. My justification, or the way I would justify it, is that you're 5-20 over your last 2 seasons so far. Your best quarterback that you've had over the last 6 years is playing in Tampa right now. And you are, of all the accusations that you can make, the only thing I really think does stick to the Browns and Stefanski and the coaching staff and everybody is that you haven't been very good at evaluating quarterbacks, guys. So, yeah, I'm going to wonder about that part of it when it's like, well, Shador's still back here, and Shador's still doing this and working on that, and Shador's not ready and all that other stuff. And now you got Ashley Baystock from Cleveland.com, and you got, who the hell else? Oh, yeah, it was Afternoon Drive. Well, could Watson play before him?
Whoa.
It's like, well, hold on. Bastock, by the way, not Baystock. I apologize, Ashley. Which is a question I might have to ask Mary Kay Cabot. Because that would certainly... Listen, man, you guys can get as argumentative as you want about Shador Sanders. I think a lot of Browns fans who were here before and are here long after will definitely want to see Shador Sanders before they see Deshaun Watson, for the love of everything that's football. Mary Kay Cabot joins us next. Maybe she'll dispel that on The Fan.
Anthony Lima 4.
Blue Jays win in L.A., top the Dodgers 6-1. Toronto starter Trey Savage allowed 1 run, 3 hits over 7 innings, set a World Series record for a rookie with 12 strikeouts. Toronto now leads the series 3-2. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. All starts tonight at 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Hey, real quick before Mary Kay comes on, your buddy Mark Carney remove the interim tag, ladies and gentlemen.
That's awesome. At the start of the last game, the big Kent State win, and they should have beat Buffalo earlier this year. They already have 3 wins. They just beat Eddie George and Bowling Green. We were talking about in the Open on ESPN Plus, let's get that interim tag removed with a win. And just like that, he was able to do it. Congrats.
Good for him, man.
Good coach. They got some commitments.
Good for them.
They've got momentum. What was it, a 21-game losing streak that he snapped when I was there for some of the prior coach, and this was night and day. So that's awesome. The Golden Flashes, they got to feel great about this.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a move for the right direction. I think it's hard to win at a legitimate clip in the MAC. I think there's some places that are just better suited for sustained winning in the Mid-American Conference. I'll leave it here because I know we got to get to Mary Kay very quickly. I think it's a tough job. The only other guys that you've seen do it at a significant level have ended up being great coaches in college football. I mean, there's a couple of big names currently and historically, some really big names in college football. Let's bring in Mary Kay Cabot, who joins us right now on the fan hotline, Cleveland.com and the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Mary Kay, I am nervous right now.
What are you nervous about, Ken?
Because I hear your contemporary, Ashley Bestock, and she was with Afternoon Drive, and they are banding about a possible idea of Deshaun Watson playing before Shedeur Sanders. I find it to be ludicrous, Mary Kay.
Oh, I really don't think that would be the case.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would be the case. The thing that has to happen with Deshaun Watson, first of all, he has to be cleared medically, which that could happen after the bye week. He's going to undergo some tests after the bye week, or maybe he's even undergoing those tests right now during the bye week. And if he passes those tests, then the next step would be to open his practice window. And that could happen. It's a 21-day practice window, and that could happen right after the bye week, I would think. 1 or 2 weeks after the bye week, they could open up that window and see how he's doing and see if he's ready to go. And then if he is ready to go during that 21 days, then at that point, they can activate him. But I wouldn't say that he's in line to play before Shedeur. I wouldn't say that. I don't think that's necessarily in the cards.
Mary Kay, I'm very ready to see Shedeur Sanders. I want to see him against the Jets. I know it's not going to happen. How long do you think that Dylan Gabriel still has before they would consider going to Shedeur Sanders?
Well, I know that they want to give him a good long time to see what he can do, to come up that learning curve. And it's a twofold process here. It's not just what Dylan can or can't do, but it's how ready is Shedeur. And if Shedeur were ready in 2 or 3 weeks, then I think they would throw him in there. But I think they have to know that he's going to go out there and be able to function, and not just function, but function in this particular offense, an offense that is struggling in so many different ways right now, and you don't want to shatter a rookie quarterback's confidence. So he's got to be able to go out there and protect himself. He can't retreat like he did in college. And this is a point I made in the column that I wrote the other day, and that is, when you've got a quarterback like Drake May, he can absorb 6 sacks in that game and make enough explosive plays, and they can make enough explosive runs to overcome those negative plays. The Browns aren't getting those explosives right now, so you can't put someone out there that is potentially going to get negative plays or a fair amount of negative plays without knowing that you've got something coming on the other end. So that's part of it. They have to know that he is ready to go out there and that everybody else is ready to support him in the way that he's going to need.
Mary Kay, your fans are going to hear about getting up to speed and closing the gap and all this terminology that just has made it seem like Shedeur was just buried before everything got started. So What was it that they loved about him so much that even after taking Dylan Gabriel, they're like, yeah, we can take another quarterback? And why do you think he's working at such a deficit the way that everybody talks about him?
Well, I think Andrew spelled it out very, very clearly in the preseason when he said for Shedeur, he was learning, going from English to Mandarin. He had a lot to learn in terms of how to run a pro offense. He didn't know how to articulate the plays and do all the things that Dylan already knew a lot of that pro-style stuff. Shedeur didn't have to do a lot of that. And so he's had to learn it. And he's learning very quickly. He's got a very, very high football acumen. And he is coming up that learning curve, and I hear great things about what he looks like in practice and how he's doing. But he had a long way to go. He had a long, long way to go to get to the point where he could do all of those pre-snap things. And nobody wants to listen to that. I understand that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to listen to it. But you have to be able to go out there and function in that job with everything happening so fast and people coming at you very, very quickly. And he doesn't also necessarily have the mobility or the speed to get himself out of trouble the way some other quarterbacks do. He's not a mobile quarterback. I mean, he can move some, but he's not necessarily someone that you're going to be running called runs with and things like that, and a lot of the keepers and RPOs and things like that. That's just not his game. He's more of a drop back passer, sort of in the mold of, I would think, more of like a Joe Flacco, but not necessarily with that strong of an arm. The thing I've always said about Shedeur, and I will continue to say this, and I see it every single day I'm out there, is his elite accuracy. And when I say that, people say, well, if he's got that. Well, you have to have more than that. I've seen other quarterbacks through time who have elite accuracy, but you have to have everything else. You have to be able to process. You have to be able to move sometimes and do other things. So it's kind of the total package. And he just has to be ready is what the bottom line is. Because people say, oh, well, it can't get any worse than it is with Dylan. Well, in this particular moment in time, with this young and struggling offense, yes, it could get worse. It definitely could get worse.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us here on the Fan Hotline. Okay, so I just want to, could you repeat again for the record and for God Almighty that you are a person that obviously, you have sources and you are being told that he is doing very well in practice and progressing nicely. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely, okay. 100%.
I want to make sure because the reason I asked Mary Kay is we won't hear anything in practice. They would leak it if he was doing well in practice, so we don't hear anything in practice. Go, okay, well, Mary Kay has sources, and she is saying right now for everybody that, again, he is progressing nicely, and I don't know what the schedule is, but he looks good in practice, yes.
100%.
Good.
Absolutely 100%, yes. But remember this. All rookie quarterbacks need time to develop. Some need more time than others. I think Dylan needed more time than he got. I don't necessarily think he's 100% ready to be out there. I think he would be more ready to be out there if he had a better supporting cast right now. And sometimes it's hard to tell what came first, the chicken or the egg. But, I mean, maybe you plug him into an offense where he's throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and maybe he would be making some more yards and points and touchdowns. So it's kind of hard to say right now. The receiver production hasn't been up to par at all. And once again, it's hard to say if those receivers would be doing better with a better quarterback or a more experienced quarterback, or if the quarterback would be doing better if the receivers were doing better. I think better receiver production would help any quarterback that goes in there.
Okay.
All right, Mary Kay, given all of that, we keep hearing about votes of confidence from ownership in the job Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski have done. So I guess I would ask, what is it about their performance here in year 6 with them and their roster management situation that has earned that vote of confidence from ownership?
Well, I think they have looked at this year as a retooling year. I don't think they expected it to be this challenging. And it's this challenging in part because they had a grueling early part of the schedule. Now they're hitting their softer patch in the schedule. But they started out with all of those road games, which they didn't win any of them, 3 road games in a row. and some really, really tough football teams. Now, the rest of the way, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL. They have 4 teams that have won either 1 game or won 2 games. So if they had started out with that kind of a schedule, chances are they would probably have maybe at least another victory or 2 right now, and the sky would not be falling. The other part of this is the fact that they looked at this year, as I mentioned, as a retooling year, a restocking year, and they began the foundation. I know you guys have had a little fun with this, but they began the foundation this year of what they hope will become eventually their Super Bowl window roster, and they added a bunch of pieces this year, but they all know the 2026 draft is supposed to be a rich quarterback class, and they have their eye on that class to potentially get their franchise quarterback. So you're asking Kevin to go out there and win games with all these young guys this year that aren't really 100% ready. They'll be well poised next year to play probably really well, but this year the offense it's just not really ready, and it does need more pieces as well. So that's where the confidence factor comes in, is the fact that they want these guys to see what they can do once they get their franchise quarterback, probably in the 2026 draft.
Mary Kay Cabot on the fan hotline. So you were on with Baskin and Phelps a couple days ago. Well, you were on with Dan and Phelps. And you had brought up that Miles would need assurances this offseason. What do you mean by assurances, if I could ask, about like the quarterback position? Like, would he demand a trade again? Could he retire? Like, I was like, well, I go, well, you know, the Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson each played, I think, 9 years and then called it quits. Like, could we see that with Miles? What did you mean by the assurances?
No, he's not going to retire. No way. I mean, he's got all this money coming for him over the next how many ever years through 2030. So there's no retirement in sight. But what I meant by that is the fact that it's the same thing he's asking for over this bye week. He wants to know the plan. He wants to know how this football team is getting to winning. He did that last offseason. He's doing it this week. I asked him in the post-game press conference, maybe you guys may have heard me, are you going to come back early? Are you giving up your bye week? Are you going to spend time trying to figure out what's going wrong with this team? And he laid it out. Yes, I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk to coaches. I'm going to talk to players, and I'm going to see how I can help fix offense, defense, and special teams. So they asked him to step up and be a real leader this year. Jimmy Haslam did. We heard him say that at the owners' meetings, of course, and he has taken that to heart. So he is involving himself in other aspects of the football team. And if there's not much that they can do this year, then he is going to ask again in the offseason, all right, what are we doing here? Like, show me how we are getting to winning. Now, I don't know what happens if he doesn't like the answer. I don't think he would ask to be traded. I think that, I just don't know if he would do that or not. And so I can't speculate on that. But I do know that he is going to involve himself in the process, just like he has done in this past offseason and is going to be doing this bye week.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us right now. They made some moves with some tight ends midweek. Is it because Njoku is banged up, or do you think this could be a precursor to a trade?
Well, as I've mentioned before on this show over the past few weeks, the plan heading into the trade deadline is not to trade away David Njoku. That doesn't mean it won't happen. They are not seeking to trade David Njoku. Now, if someone comes calling with an offer that they cannot refuse, the same way it happened with Joe Flacco and with Greg Newsome, they are listening to all offers. They're working the phones. They're talking to everybody. That's what happens at this time of year. That's nothing surprising, shocking, or new. They are not expecting to trade David Njoku, and they're not expecting to trade off other veterans in that category. But if teams see that you have something that they want, they will start to poke around and dig around a little bit, and then you never know what can happen. So, again, it's not what they're trying to do, but it's also something that for anybody, they're not going to completely slam the door shut without at least listening. As far as Brennan Bates is concerned and bringing him on, I think they realize and they recognize that their receiving corps isn't getting it done, and they're probably going to have to play more 2 tight end sets, maybe more 3 tight end sets. and find a way to accomplish some offense and some passing game however they possibly can.
Mary Kay, am I a psycho if I put up my Christmas decorations on Sunday?
Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, I've contemplated putting the lights up, but maybe not turning them on. My husband is kind of a purist about that sort of thing. Like, he doesn't like the Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving, but then all of a sudden you blink and Christmas is here and you kind of miss the boat. So I would put them up. I would put them up on Sunday, and I would light them up. I love it, but we have to compromise here. I don't know how it goes at your place.
I think I might do. Well, trick-or-treat's on Saturday, and then I got to take down the Halloween decorations, and I got to start putting up. I don't know if there's going to be enough time. Plus, I'm probably going to be a little hungover, to be honest with you, Mary Kay. So, I mean, it's just going to be a big weekend, so I got that. Sorry.
Well, weather is a factor. You have to put the lights up when it's not 20 degrees.
And you got to make sure you do it, yeah? That's right. Mary Kay, thank you so much for the time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. There's some questions that people wanted me. Megan James says, ask it, Tubby, ask it. You can get in on the conversation on our YouTube. I don't know what Megan James wanted me to ask.
And the coming in hot button on the Odyssey app. And the coming in hot button on the free Odyssey app, absolutely. Joe Varden, 901. Are we asking too much of Evan Mobley? I want to get back to what she brought up with Myles Garrett. I think that startles me a little bit. And the PSL conversation that is been going around this city. Yes, I've seen it. Yes, we will get to it coming up in 5 on The Fan. All right, it's Anthony Lima for the Young Team. Ryan Young, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. Great buddy of mine who is making
Join Afternoon Drive this Friday at the Harry Buffalo in Lakewood as we broadcast live 2 to 7 and register for your chance to win a great prize pack while you're there. Get details and info now at 923thefan.com.
The NFL trade deadline is 4 p.m. Tuesday. Stay here for all the latest from Berea and all across the league. Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Joe Varden 901. Are we asking too much Evan Mobley? Boy, we got a lot of strong conversation right out of the box this morning at 6 o'clock. A lot of callers about Evan last night. A lot of that stuff going on. Also, speaking of the Cavs, 9 o'clock as well. Your chance to win some Cavs tickets as they play tomorrow night against the Toronto Raptors in Cup game number 1. Yeah, the Cup starts.
Folks, boy, Cup just sneaks up on you.
It does, doesn't it?
Before you know it, it's like, here comes the Cup. The Emirates Cup. It's Emirates time.
It comes in like a lamb and leaves like a lamb. But you
finally significant basketball in Cleveland.
But it's still.
I've said for years, the season doesn't really start until Cup action.
The game counts, though, right?
Oh, this time it
counts.
I'm making sure. So Cavs tickets coming up.
Boy, it counts.
Today, 9 o'clock, you can go see the Cavs take on the Toronto Raptors. It happens to be a Cup game.
You mean it happens to be?
Well, I just think you're still seeing regular season Cavs basketball. That's quality enough. But that's just how I feel about the Cup.
I want to win the Cup this year. I'm wearing my Cup hat in tomorrow.
I might wear something special in tomorrow.
Oh.
It is Halloween.
Oh.
You'll have to watch us on YouTube to find out. Joe Varden going to join us at 9 o'clock. You got the PS. So I don't follow this as closely as you do. You're a ticket guy. You pay attention to the trends. You pay attention to the prices. You pay attention to all the other things. Yeah. The PSL, this is a survey, correct?
I believe it's a survey, so nothing official yet.
Because I've had several people send me this, and I went, guys, and I think I might have had an email, but I didn't. I might have just accidentally deleted it because Owen's like, you didn't get one? You should have got one. I got one. I was like, well, I must have got one, and I missed it. But I've had several people send me their thoughts on PSLs, and I said, you know what? I'm going to push it over to Tone. I want Tone to bring it up first. So what do we got with the PSL
and,
stuff?
Fans, they love PSLs. They love to own their seat for perpetuity and be able to sell it for more value down the road when Browns are a Super Bowl team. Oh, yeah.
You can do that?
That's actually never happened. Anyway, so here's the deal.
Wait a minute. They can't be terrible forever.
So here is what they put out.
Good. Shut up.
I'm on Daryl's Twitter feed because he put up a video with all the different selections that they ran through in the survey. For example, a general seat. So, Kenny, let's see. The general seat in the corners, is that considered 500 level or whatever?
No,
but
that's probably not. I think the upper is 500 level.
Okay, so those are the 300 plus levels?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
300 to 400.
So it put in that the annual ticket price, $2,250 per seat, one-time PSL, $2,050.
One-time PSL.
Yes, one-time PSL, and then, depending on how many home games or whatever, $2,250.
So those are yours forever?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be yours.
Okay.
Then some others. Again, these are definitely the 500s. One-time PSL, $1,200 and $2,000 per ticket.
Okay.
Per seat in the new dome. Then it gets a little crazy depending on the club. Like, for instance, a club seat at field level from the 25s to the end zones, $4,750 per seat, and $31,350 for the one-time PSL. And so it looks like they have safe standing position. So it's a standing room only?
That would be standing room only.
Yes, in the end zones, but maybe a level up or whatever. That's $2,000 per seat. $2,050 PSL. I'll just get to the craziest of all of them.
That's a season ticket.
Yes.
How do you pay a PSL on standing?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's a personal seat license.
Standing license.
It just says personal PSL. It might not say personal seat or personal standing.
I'll just pay that to Nike every time I go.
Where's the jumping room only seats? And do they have a personal anyway?
Do they have the squares that you can stand on like we did during COVID? Maybe that's my personal
that's right.
spot.
I remember that. Yeah, don't get in my space.
Okay.
I don't know if that comes with a mask or not. Anyway, here is the most expensive one because that's the ticket item, the big time, and they need the richest, the wealthiest,
of course,
longest supporters of the team that have the 50-yard line in the club. The at field level on the home side at the 50-yard line, all inclusive with top shelf liquor. You get VIP Field Club, priority parking included, average ticket price $19,750 per seat. And of course, I'm guessing you're buying 4 of those. So you do the math. One-time PSL, $131,100. So you can tell your rich friends that's probably what they'll be paying.
If you, let's play this out. If the drive-through costume Emporium warehouse takes off, and I end up being able to afford that, do I have to get top shelf liquor, or can I have what I choose as my liquor? Because I'm not a top shelf guy.
Well specials on Sundays.
Well, if I'm paying that much, I want them to import my liquor. So you may want to give me, what's the top shelf booze that you have over there at your house?
I just have a nice bottle of Blanton's.
Okay. What if I wanted a nice bottle of Old Crow? Will they do that for me?
Might have to slingshot it from the
This is all
from the waterfront. Not anymore.
This is
it's a dome.
Yeah.
You can't get it.
Well,
in
this
anyway.
is all contingent on whether or not I get these things. If the costume Emporium warehouse takes off, drive-through takes off. If not, I mean, I could sell a lot of David S. Pumpkins costumes. Tone, you're not participating. I don't know why it was your idea. This is years ago. This is why this business will flounder.
In the costume Emporium business?
Yes, and if it takes off, I would just want to make sure I have my own booze. Now, that is a considerable amount of money. $131,000 is nothing to fart at, but I think that this is the unfortunate difference in where you were and where you're going, where I think if I were to... Can I compare it to anything in the league yet? Have we seen any comparisons?
Buffalo, the Buffalo Stadium.
All right. So you're looking at something right now, and this is
their PSLs range from $2,000 to $50,000.
Okay, so this isn't. By the way, this isn't in. Is this in concrete yet, or
No.
what is this?
No.
All right. So what you're going to have to do, is they're going to have to find a happy medium, because Buffalo is a city like ours, and you got a lot of regular Joe fans who want to go to the games. There's other places that are going to be sold corporately. I imagine that a lot of these seats are sold corporately. When you're talking $131,000 for a PSL, I assume that Ken Carman and Anthony Lima's drive-through costume Emporium warehouse would own the PSLs as a company. That's what I would assume.
And by the way, we should add, I'm guessing, although I'm not sure completely, maybe Daryl could correct me.
All right.
If you buy the PSL on any of these seats, you're getting the access to the Big Ten Championship or the Lake Erie Bowl or the Final Four, or dare I say, do you think you'd get access to the Super Bowl? I'd kind of want some assurances. I'd be like Myles Garrett. Can I get the Super Bowl access? Or are you going to give that away to corporate? Like, what's the deal there? I mean, you got to pay for it, but you better have the ability do you have the ability to sell that ticket for a game?
I want to bring this back up by the end of the show.
Can you make your money back on the Super Bowl?
I want to bring this back up.
Serious.
I want to bring this back up at 9:45, and I definitely want to ask Daryl about it tomorrow morning. Okay, coming up in 4 minutes, Joe Vardon going to join us on the show. 5 minutes, Joe Vardon going to join us on the show from The Athletic, NBA writer. Are we asking too much already of Evan Mobley? Should we go back to the way things were with the offense just last year? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. Joe's going to answer those at 9:01 on The Fan.
All right, here we go.
at 7 o'clock right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
You can now watch The Fan live on YouTube. Catch the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima from 6 till 10 a.m. and Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin from 2 to 7 p.m. each and every weekday. It's free. Subscribe to 92.3 The Fan on YouTube.
Tonight we're gonna take no prisoners. This time we're gonna live a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine being able
the slippery
to
wizard
enjoy
delivers.
the Cup on Friday? Here is your chance.
Hard-working town, hard-working team.
Enter the code word WINE, W-I-N-E, at 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. Chance to win a pair of tickets to the Cavs and the Raptors Friday, October 31st, 7:30 p.m.
With all your might!
Rocket Arena Cup. Tickets available. Cavs.com. Cup time. The Cup spilleth over. Cup taketh. It's all from the Cavaliers Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan. Cup time.
What's the difference between me singing that right there and tomorrow night around my kids? If your answer is 8 drinks, you're correct. Let's welcome in Joe Varden, who joins us right now to talk about your Cleveland Cavaliers, as well as the rest of the NBA. He's from The Athletic. Follow him on Twitter, at Joe Varden. He's on the Fan Hotline. Hello, Joe.
Varden, do you support this sports washing involved with the Emirates and the Cup? What's going on here?
Don't answer that.
You're throwing too much at me. I mean, I'm sitting here like rocking out to Michael Stanley, wondering how many of your listeners could say who that was or remember that time.
I will keep his memory alive. It's until I die that maybe people start to forget.
And then you've got me thinking about the 8 drinks for Halloween tomorrow night and thinking about whether I can match you. So we'll have to see on that one.
Oh, I've taken down many a good man, and I'll take you down with me. I will tell you this, though. I can't do it tomorrow night, unfortunately, because I got Friday Night Touchdown. Saturday night's the night we do it. But I don't know. I'm starting to get older. Maybe I'm starting to show my age a little bit, Joe. I'm not sure.
But you want to talk about showing your age? Wife and I are going to Bryan Adams on Saturday, and we can't wait.
Best days of my life.
Oh, it's gonna cut like a knife.
That's right, baby.
Oh my God, that's great. Joe Varden joining us here on the show. Joe, all right. Now that we've had our fun, let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Is Evan Mobley ever going to live up to his potential? Is he a disappointment for your Cleveland Cavaliers? I was waiting for Lima to do something there. He didn't do anything.
He's not a disappointment. But as we watch, like I was there with them at Madison Square Garden last week, and it was very clear that they were going to try to run the offense through him, especially in the first half, to the point where Donovan really wasn't involved. I think he had 7 shots in the first 2 quarters, and sort of, they were trying to use Evan as though he were a Jason Tatum or even a LeBron. I know the comparisons to Garnett are there, but, offenses have evolved since Garnett played. So that's what they were trying, and that didn't work. And so, I think that with Mobley, we have probably a generational talent as a defender. And I do think he continues to improve offensively. It's okay if you have to throw it to him. I think he has developed enough as a 3-point shooter that somebody has to run out there and check him, and he can get it off the glass and run up the floor himself. But I just don't think that we are seeing, at least at this point in his career, that he is someone who should begin plays in half-court set offense the way that, some of the other versatile, bigger players in our league have been able to do. So, can they win that way? Yes. I still contend, and I don't mean to just cut off the debate, but the challenge for this team is not Evans. The challenge is two small guards. They are excellent players in their own right. There are only 3 teams in NBA history that have won with 2 guards who are 6'3" or under. That's what we have here in Cleveland. So I'm not knocking either player, but I'm just saying that's what history tells us. And if they want to break that mold, then they have to show that they can do that.
Joe Varden with us right now. All right, Donovan Mitchell last night just probably should not have played. I think maybe because it was nationally televised. He knew, inside the NBA was going to be on at halftime. Maybe that had something to do with it. So he played, and then pretty clearly, I think he had his last basket, like 10 minutes left in the second quarter, and then he was abysmal in the second half. So it was an opportunity for other guys to shine. You saw some good things from some, like Tyson, and I do think it's a good opportunity for guys to take that step forward. With Mobley, it just seems like they told him, go out, shoot a bunch of threes, handle the ball, and he's just been very mechanical in doing so. None of it seems to be in rhythm, and so I do wonder if this is going to mess with them, given that you're going to be getting guys back, especially Darius Garland. Like, if right now it looks like it's out of sorts, what's it going to look like when Darius comes back and they still want Evan to be aggressive?
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting it right on the head, and this is what they're trying to do here earlier in the year. Like, it is very clear that they are trying to force the next step in the evolution of Evan Mobley's game, and as what we're seeing right now is it's clunky. I would suggest that maybe when Darius comes back, that he's another facilitator that helps get Evan in better spots, so that maybe Evan has the ball in his hands with 15 seconds on the clock instead of 20, giving him a chance to maybe get set up a little bit better and then catch it and go. I think if Evan could be a player simply who catches it with 15 seconds left and is in a position to make a move, he can learn that sort of next step of being able to catch it and go quickly. Like, that's when LeBron, went from great to all world. That's when Tatum's at his best, and so on and so forth. So I'm not worried about that. And I think I would also say, like, I had sort of a snarky joke that I had all teed up for you guys, but we're not going down that path.
Let's go down the path right now.
Well, I was going to say something like, well, what are you guys going to be for Halloween? And then you would say, and then I would say, well, at this time of year, your costume and what you're going to be is more important than what is happening on an NBA floor. And the players would agree, especially with veteran teams. So you're seeing these hiccups and these bumps in the road right now. It's not even Halloween yet. And veteran teams sort of know this, and they bide their time. They sort of ease into the season. And I think we've seen the reverse with these Cleveland teams that have been really, really good out of the gates in these years and then sort of fall off as we get to March. And I think that's because they were a younger team. Like, this is an actual veteran team now that I think truly understands not only how long the regular season is, but when it is important to be playing well. So, we're all concerned about how clunky the offense looks and how Evan can't do this and that. And we're talking about Jarrett Allen and, Lonzo is shooting 20% and, we got 2 guys out for a while. This is all good. This is all actually really good that they kind of stink right now, or that there's some real problems. And it would be fine by me if they take 2 or 3 months to work through them. Start to figure things out in January. Start to figure things out mid-January and be awesome when you come back from the All-Star break. The Cavs don't do that. They haven't done that in their entirety of this sort of next run after LeBron. They've been either really good now or good then bad and then awesome in December and January. And to a fault, every year they have a really hard time after the All-Star break. So let's do this now. Let's get beat by the Boston's JV team or whatever you want to say, and have a really hard time in New York and be clunky on offense now and have guys out now. Let's do that now because they'll be better for it. when the weather comes back.
You know, you made me think of something here differently. Like, there was a caller who called in today, and he's like, you guys are focusing on the wrong guy. You guys need to be focused on Jarrett Allen, not Evan Mobley. And I was like, well, I think out of the core four, I think the guy who's the most easiest move is Jarrett Allen. But then, you know, I know about the second apron. You know, Lima tells me all about it. You tell me all about it, Joe. You guys are great with info. But then it made me think, I go, well, you know, wait a minute. You just said 2 or 3 months. If there's pain, that's fine. Like, that would tell me that, no, they're going to keep what they have, and maybe they're just not, they wouldn't move on from Jarrett Allen. Maybe that's just a different thought that we shouldn't even have.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like, I do believe that there have been some offers made to Cleveland over the last, however, you know, whether it's a year, whether it's a few months. It's not that the phone doesn't ring about Jarrett, but the return for a Jarrett trade has not been to what the Cavs would want. So then you have to think about where they are in terms of, like you mentioned it, the second apron, which I actually have a big story out about that today, that the players across the league don't like it for a number of reasons. But for the Cavs, one of the things is they are spending so much money on their players that it's almost impossible for them to make any kind of big trade. Like, they could trade Jarrett, but it would pretty much have to be like they couldn't take him and somebody else to go get that next caliber player. Like, they would anything that they would get for Jarrett would either have to be an aggregation from the other teams. That's 2 players coming back for 1, and to make Jarrett's salary, like that, those would just be like sort of middle of the road players. And Jarrett's not going to get you someone better. So, you know, we kind of have to understand that because of league rules, the Cavs have to stick it out with this group, most likely. Now, could you? I'm not advocating for this. I'm not saying that the Cavs are looking at this, but could you trade Darius? For instance, Darius Garland makes the same amount of money as James Harden. Okay, so if you want to think about that, you could make that trade. You know, the salaries aren't in front of me, but you know, I always talk about, well, wouldn't it be interesting if Donovan played for the Celtics and Jaylen Brown played for Cleveland? You know, the guard, I think my bigger point here is the guards. One of those guards would be maybe how you could make a 1-for-1 trade and change your team. I don't know about for the better, but it would be different enough that you'd have a different look than what we've had the last couple of years. But by and large, this year, it's probably going to be this group, and that's okay. You know, I was thinking about this today, like, if you know, everybody's favorite sport in the NFL, like, how much continuity seems to matter, you know, and sometimes it takes a number of years with that same coach that you get really frustrated by, or with these players that seem to take a long time to develop, and then they break through. And that certainly has been the Cleveland model here. They've stuck by their guys, and again, some of it's because of league rules, but they're going to ride with this group. And then if it doesn't work out again, I think you make some really hard choices the following summer. But yeah, I mean, this is the group, and you know, I mean, they've been a very strong regular season team. I'm not ready to say they can't do it in the spring.
All right, Joe, quickly, the gambling story that rocked the NBA and really sullied, if you will, the debut of the season. Where are we a few weeks later now that kind of everybody understands, like, it's just going to be really hard for teams to just keep everything a secret about injury reports and, you know, the bad actors were dealt with? Where do we go from here?
It's hard to answer that one quickly. I know that I need to. I would say right now, one, we probably know more about gambling than we used to because of these partnerships between the leagues and the sports books, which is a little bit of irony, I would say. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm not sure how widespread this is. I don't know. But what I do know is I've spent the last however many days looking at this, is that there are some connections between all the charges and all the cases. There are some actors that nobody really knows. They're not NBA players. Actually, one of them is, and we don't know the name yet. But there are ways that these cases are connected. So it's kind of Anthony, we're kind of in like a muddled state right now. We don't know how widespread this is. We do know that gamblers are gaining access to NBA talent, and they are manipulating them. We also know right now, and this is the last thing I would say, right now, the outcomes of the games are not being impacted. So this isn't the 1919 Black Sox. It's not even the 2006 Toledo Rockets. It's not that. These are individuals who are affecting their own personal behavior on the court to impact prop bets. So where do we go from here? Do we cancel all prop bets? Probably not. Too much money on the table. Can we outlaw shorting a prop bet so you can't bet against the guy? Maybe that's the answer. But there's a lot of work to be done, I think, by everybody involved, whether it's Adam Silver, the Players Association, the sports books, us as journalists who are definitely still digging on this. There's a lot more to come out, I would say.
Joe Vardon from The Athletic, at Joe Vardon on Twitter. You're awesome. Joe, thank you so much for the time, buddy.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Joe Vardon on the Fan Hotline. Okay, short-term pain for long-term gain. Let me sell you on it when we come back. 5 minutes away. Ken Carman, Tone Master General, live on the Fan. Daisy Dip. It's pleasure. There's no
am I coming to see you homecoming? Nah, I'm not coming to see you homecoming. I can't make it out there.
My name is.
I wish I could though, but it just can't happen. I got treatment out here. I can't be in. I gotta get ready. Big ready.
Shedeur Sanders. He is staying in town during the bye week, not coming back for homecoming. That is on his Twitch channel.
How bad is this injury that he's worried about rehabbing?
Well, you pointed this video out, which is like a cut up of answers to questions. He did a 33-minute Twitch stream last night, I believe is what it was. It says 10 hours ago. So I'm kind of siphoning through it all right now. People are just asking questions and they're getting 2 or 3 word answers, right? Back to him. So that's kind of what happened there. But he says people ask about his back 1,000 times, right? And he says, it's good. I'll be good. I'll be good to go. He's not giving you the Twitter doctor breakdown of what happened to his back and how it's coming along.
Yeah, could he start if something were to happen to Dylan Gabriel during the bye week? Could Shedeur start against the Jets?
I have no idea. I mean,
that's what we all want to see.
I wish I could say if he were healthy, they would certainly consider starting him on next Sunday against the Jets. I don't know. I wish I could tell you that.
Well, and at the very end of that,
told us, but
at the very end of that, he says, "I got to get ready, big ready," and I think that's where the people are freaking out now.
I'll tell you,
was that a figure of speech?
What does big ready mean? Yes.
Okay.
Both the people that absolutely adore Shedeur and they soak up all his content, whether it's Twitch, whether it's the reality show, anything his dad related, like that have helped propel him to his superstardom, to his fame. Obviously, all of them want to see him play. I can definitely tell now the tide has turned. I think the people that hate his guts, probably because of his fans, nothing he's done, but I think those people want to see him play too because they assume he's going to be terrible, and they've seen what the offensive line looks like. They've seen the receivers. They've seen the general direction of the offense. I think the people that hate Shedeur and hate his fans more so, they would love to see Shedeur start sooner rather than later because they want to see him exposed.
Well, I don't know why you can hate the guy. I don't know how you can really hate the guy.
Yeah, not him. He seems like a great kid.
There's nothing nefarious in the past. There's really nothing bad personally. I think people have gotten way too latched on to the arguments online.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And I think that they have let that affect them significantly. And I think it's made people overly pro, overly against. And it's like, hey, man, he's a quarterback for the Browns. I want him to do well. So, I wanted to take him, and I want him to start as sooner than later. I want him to start against the Jets. But, I'm not going to and it doesn't matter what you say or what time you say it, there's going to be fans who disagree with anything you're saying. If he goes out there and he struggles and he's bad, we'll have a conversation. Is it on Kevin? Is it on the offense? This, that, and the other. I want to get to the Cavs here, but here we go. Is it on them? But we'll also have to look at it right in the teeth and go, hey, man, you got yourself decisions, because I also got this email, and I'm sure you guys got the same thing, so you're seeing it. Ty Simpson favored to be the top pick. Titans are favored to select number one, though. All right, that's from sportsbetting.ag. They always send us these things. Ty Simpson, 2-1 to be the number one overall pick. Fernando Mendoza's 11-4. Lenoir Sellers, 11-2. We got to have a long conversation at some point about Lenoir Sellers. I don't know where to put him. He's been banged up this year. He's a terrible offensive line, terrible everything around him. He's not going to be put in a good spot. They're going to finish under 500, and you guys are going to hear that all winter long. You're going to be so annoyed. But if they don't finish with the number one pick, and the Titans actually finish with the number one pick, all right, now we're in an arms race.
Yeah.
Now we're cutting deals to try to get the number one pick, because you want the pick of the litter. If you're going to make the pick, damn it, you make it. So we're in this, and I don't know if he's going to come out on top, and I don't know if he's going to come out and look better than any one of these other options that are going to be presented to us in April. But that's why I still want to. It's not like we got to see. I want him to have the opportunity so I can see. I would love it if he were good. I don't know how he's going to turn out. I have no idea. So I think that people have become addicted to the argument. I'm glad that he's here. I'm glad he's making the most of the opportunities, the little opportunities he's been given. I'm glad that he's trying to make the most of it, and eventually we'll get a chance to get a look at it. There's people who don't even believe he has a back injury, for crying out loud.
Oh, come on.
Hey, man,
Why would he fake it?
I don't.
What
No. It's all the Browns are coming up with a back injury. I'm like, I don't know. That's not true at all.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, you remember Nathan did have to go. Like, guys, we're getting. He needed help, like off the field. Like Nathan presented that when he went down on Friday.
Did he get hit?
I don't know.
How do we not know that?
Maybe it's a muscle. Well, do
you understand why
he had a back injury in Colorado as well?
Okay, but do you understand why I'm confused that one of the most popular dudes, certainly like in the NFL, look at the jersey sales and everything, and he's on Twitch every day. He's doing social media. He's got a team around him filming his every move.
Okay.
We don't know how he sustained an injury.
Maybe there's a video.
Now, that part of it, doesn't that sound? Just ask yourself the question. That does sound, that invites a bunch of questions. Like, how would we not know?
As far as
we know
what?
everything else about his life, but we don't know this? How he sustained an injury on a football field?
Do you really want to get into the details of that? Are you demanding answers? It sounds like you're demanding answers.
I'd like to know. I don't know why you wouldn't want to know. You're not curious?
Later this week. Oh, they don't.
When you say that, thank you, Owen.
And furthermore, he wasn't asked after. Hold on. He wasn't asked after the Patriots game when he's been directly interviewed in the locker room after other games.
I don't think he was asked. He wasn't interviewed after that game.
Right. Why?
He was inactive. Why would you make him available?
It's not made available. They're in the locker room. That's what we've been told, right? Anybody can go up to anybody at any time.
If you're in your locker. You cannot go to certain areas.
So what would have happened if somebody would have gone?
If he were, hold on before you say anything further and make yourself look even dumber.
I'm not look dumb at all. I think the people that are sitting there covering up or whatever they're doing, I think they're the ones that look silly.
2 seconds ago, you were just sitting there talking about how it was silly that people were wondering whether or not he has a legitimate back injury. Now it sounds like you're wondering if he has a legitimate back injury.
I'm wondering
you
why
want to talk about slippery wizard.
I'm wondering why we don't know what an injury is from somebody who all he does is talk every chance he gets.
I was going to explain to you.
So is he hiding what he has?
No, I was going to explain to you.
Why isn't he being forthright?
Okay, I'm trying to explain it to you. If you just shut up for a second and let me tell you. Number one, it's up to him to let people know. It's his body. He can let people know. The second thing, and I've tried to tell you 4 times already, is that if he has an injury,
he's in high school.
and he's in there with the trainers after an injury, I, as a media member, I'm not allowed to go into the training room. I'm only allowed in the locker room. I'm not allowed in the bathroom. I'm not allowed in the coach's office. I'm not allowed in the training room. I'm not allowed in any of those places. I've been trying to tell you that for the last 2 minutes while you shouted.
But you're saying you know for a fact he was not in the locker room.
I don't know.
Oh, Kenny doesn't know.
I don't know. But if you don't have any audio,
Kenny doesn't know. Kenny doesn't know.
You're a child. You are an absolute child.
Just tell us what happened.
Ask Kenny.
I know. Just tell us what's the problem. You got asked 100 times during your Twitch. Why are you not letting the fans in? You let the fans in on everything else in your life. Seems weird. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Seems weird.
What's the benefit of telling everybody? What's the benefit?
What?
What's the benefit?
What's the benefit of telling anybody anything ever? And he does. He tells people more things than anybody else.
He can also keep quiet what he wants to keep private. You're a person who tells a lot of people a lot of things. You also keep private exactly what you want to keep private. There's been a lot of things that I have been like, you've done what? And I've known you for a very long time.
So that would just lead me to speculate that there's something worse than, so he can just put an end to that immediately.
Maybe there is something a little bit more seriously wrong with his back. I don't know. But I wasn't the one over there yelling where I'm trying to tell you what the truth is. By the way, now my throat's a little raspy because I was singing the Cavs song.
Come on.
I didn't mean to take the heat out of the argument there, Owen, but I mean, good God.
Well, you threw some heat in there for a minute.
Well, because
that was a real Ken mad, not
because he's shooting his mouth off. I'm trying to tell him about something over here. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be louder than you right there.
Well, let's take it down a little bit.
Well, don't tell me to take it down.
Ken, just bring it down again.
Okay.
So do you think Shitter's good at football or not?
Yes.
Okay.
You
That's
idiot.
all I want to know.
What are you talking about?
I just want to make sure. Better than Dylan, right?
Why? Technically, I don't know yet. I would assume so. I've been watching Dylan. It doesn't look very good.
We did all that and we didn't get any clarity on anything.
I think he's better than Dylan.
Well, that's what you think, but Ken, what do you think?
All you have to do is not take a sack, or excuse me, not take a safety to avoid a sack out of the end zone in a game you're getting blown out in.
He just can't run backwards if you're near the end zone and then run right out of the stadium.
I'd rather him do that. I'd rather him do what Dan Orlovsky did. Tell me the scenario. Yes, I would imagine Shedeur wouldn't do that. No. Okay. Is that it? Why do you got to do that? You knew what you were doing. You knew you were just going to get me mad. That's what you wanted. You got what you wanted out of it.
I don't want to affect your voice.
Mr. Cavs guy, I'm sitting there, okay, we're going to talk about Evan Mobley. No, let's do the Shedeur thing, and there you go. You got me going. And I'm on your strings. Great. Hope you're happy. You happy? As long as you're happy, that's what counts here in this country. 216-474-0092. Can I even give short-term pain for long-term gain? Can I even do that?
Oh, yeah.
We won't have time. That and I'm getting more questions about PSLs. Ken Carman, Tone Master General. Take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app. Friends, Ken Carman here for KC Roofing. You know, sometimes it's like I'm going to blow the lid off this place. If the lid comes off your place, boy, you need somebody to...
care of. Check us out at repairclinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
Hello, we're back.
Hello, Kenny.
I'm glad you got everybody worked up. You got me worked into the biggest shoot ever. A moment. Tomorrow we have Daryl Ryder joining us, 8:20. Also, we will have Jordan Schultz, I believe, joining us at around 9. We will have Coming In Hot at 9:45. Can I sell you on short-term pain for long-term gain?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, this is exactly the type of offense the Cavs need to run. I wanted to say that last segment, then you got me yelling at you about Shedeur Sanders, as you are wont to do. I think that this is, I'm not going to sit there and get mad at him. I know a lot of people were mad. A lot of people were angry last night. See, the regular season set up for you to not care about regular season wins and for you to get really mad at regular season losses because of what they've done the last couple of years in the regular season and then what they didn't do in the postseason. So when they lost to Boston's JV team in so many ways yesterday, when they lose to that team, yeah, you're going to be mad. I mean, nobody likes losing, and I don't like losing, but listen, man, if you want some decent nights in June, you're going to have to go through some rough ones in October and November, man. Like, he's going to either sink or swim, and this year's going to prove it. And I got a lot of you wanting to get in saying he ain't going to swim, Ken, it ain't going to happen. Okay, but I got to give him more than 5 games to get that figured out. Talking about Evan. He's either going to be a threat from the perimeter. We have to force it. I know he looks very uncomfortable. I know he looks like he's not comfortable out there, not naturally a three-point shooter. I'm sorry, guys. The only way is for him to shoot threes to a point where he hits threes and then draws defenses out to him. I mean, you could say this much better than I can. You're the basketball guy. The only way we're going to get better and have that chance to really do something in the postseason is if he's hitting legitimate threes and draws defenses to him.
The question is, can they get to a point where it looks seamless, he looks confident, and it looks within the confines of an offense rather than on this play, your turn, because that's not real NBA offense.
Barely had a preseason, so I mean, when you only have 4 preseason games, yeah, you're going to use the regular season as a preseason. This whole year is a giant preseason.
And it still should be good enough for them to win a ton of games.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the teams. By the way, Orlando, have you seen Orlando play? You already saw what they did to Detroit.
So this is what's going to happen.
Those were 2 of the teams supposed to be nipping at their heels.
You know, I could see the season playing out like this, and I'm not going to feel good about it. Eventually, Darius is going to come back. They'll continue to work on this. And then they will reach a point after the new year, maybe before the trade deadline. See, you know, Joe, I brought up, I was like, well, you know, they could move Jared Allen. I was like, well, they got a lot to do with the second apron before they do that. And Joe's right. It's like, man, you kind of in so many ways you are what you are. We could get to a point around February where then they're going to need to kick. Or, flip the switch, quote unquote. But I'm not going to feel any better. Like, I don't want to come in and be a fuddy-duddy if they beat good teams by 20 in the month of February, March, and April. But I'm telling you, it's going to be in the back of my mind going, what's going to be different coming up here in April at the end of this regular season? What's going to be different there? Because if they go out there and they start throttling teams and it's, hey, great. Okay, we were around 500, now we're kicking, and now we're going back up the standings, and we're looking at home court advantage and all that stuff again. If it's the way they've been doing it over the last couple of years where Donovan has to take over, he's watching these children mess around with it, and now he's got to do it. You guys know it and I know it. There's going to be a lot of people who are excited, but the guys who have been watching over the last couple of years, you are not going to feel good about that. You know damn well. And Lima, you ain't going to feel good about that. Okay? Or it could play out where Evan starts to hit his threes and becomes gradually more comfortable with it to the point where then he has to be defended, and it opens up opportunities for everybody else. So this is what you got to do. So when he says, like, well, we got to get back to the way things are, no, I don't think you do. It still needs to be him. So
do you like that they
short-term pain, long-term
Do you like that Kenny Atkinson put the sign up in the locker room, the 11-14?
I did not see this. I'm sorry.
For their playoff record with this core?
Really?
To remind them every single day.
I do that with the kids When we practiced at the middle school, I put this old score up on the scoreboard in games we've lost. What do you think of that?
Diabolical. You remember Tressel did that with
We're
the...
1-2 in games doing that.
Tressel did that with the Florida loss, and after that, they had 42-14 in the locker room, and then they got blown out again the next year in the championship game against LSU.
Weren't they up at halftime, though?
They were up 10-0. Beanie Wells.
I remember I got so mad at halftime of that game because I'm like, no one's giving us a chance. We're up in this game. And then
LSU was so much better.
Got beat. Was that Les or Nick? That was Nick Saban, right? Was that Nick Saban or was that?
I thought that was Les.
Who the hell knows? Josh and Berea. Josh, hello.
What's up, gentlemen? It was definitely Les. So.
It
was definitely Les. It was Les Miles. I was an OSU fan at one point. I was heartbroken. I was right there with you, Kenny.
Okay.
But
quickly, you gotta go quick. Go.
Everyone, relax. It's 5 games in. 5 games in. You're three out of your top 6 guys are out. And we're freaking out.
Well, it's not about that. It's not about the team thing. It's an Evan thing, man. It's an Evan thing. And I don't mind them if they're freaking out. I disagree. I'm not going to sit there and do the Aaron Rodgers thing. It's not about that.
Who do you think would help him feel more comfortable? Like, everyone keeps forgetting about the straw that stirs the drink. It's Darius Garland. I've been saying this since we got Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a scoring play or a playmaking scorer. So meaning scoring is more of his primary thing, and he will make plays off of his scoring.
So is Darius doing enough facilitating for you?
Scoring playmaker.
Is Darius doing enough facilitating for you then?
Once he comes back, look how great our offense looked before he got hurt against Miami.
In the regular season.
We forget that Darius was averaging 24 points, shooting 50% from the field, 49% from 3, and had 15 assists and 1 turnover. Then he gets hurt and he doesn't look great.
30-win
Darius
team.
will help.
That was a 30-win team.
He's talking about postseason.
Yeah, Miami was the 10th seed going into the postseason.
Right. He's right about that.
We act like they were a real.
We're gonna discount playoff teams and all that. You're gonna.
He's right.
Oh, I will say, Ty Jerome played well in that series, but what do people say about Ty Jerome? Terrible in the playoffs.
They said see you in Memphis.
So people don't really think that series mattered, apparently, when it came to Ty Jerome.
Be better. I know that I have the flavor in a sweater.
Got the podcast coming up after the show. Lima, you asked a question. Do you want to do this in the podcast? 10:15 Eastern, 92.3 The Fan Extra on the free Odyssey app. Did you want to ask us that question and why you asked us? You don't remember, do you?
What, the college football one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Get to that in the podcast. 10:15 Eastern. And a restaurant, a local restaurant made good with the Tone Master General family.
That's nice.
Big thanks to Big Country.
He is the ultimate seal.
For Jeff, Mitch, Slippery Wizard Anthony Lima, I'm Ken Carman. Have a wonderful day, my friends. Go Cavs.
Because I'm on to my next endeavor. I'd like to give a shout out to the Zach Gelb show.
Go Cavaliers.
I know that they are always on the go. They travel, they read, they sing, and they dance. Always take life as a risk or a chance. This is the end of my silly little rap. Thank you for paying attention and making sure that you're not booing, but you clap.
Hey,
sounds good.
Where's your entourage?